in their team respect. They can play the spoiler role. Bellarmine just percentage points behind Ashland and Kentucky Wesleyan at 9-2 in the conference, with the other two teams being 10-2. And also, again, the Dons trying to go in strong for next year. This season is not lost for good. They're 11-10 right now, so it's a threefold story. Dons fighting for self-respect, trying to go and finish up this season strong for the 92 season, and also trying to play spoiler tonight.
In fact, Bellarmine was in the lead up till Thursday night when Bellarmine lost to Ashland. So you know that Bellarmine is one of the better teams in the country. I think Coach Piazza told us they're in the top 10?
Yeah, and 1 through 5, their first 5 players are about the best in the conference. The first 5 players. They have 2 6'9", 6'9" fella, a 7-foot guy in Sherfranz, who some NBA scouts are looking at.
That's right. The coaches were telling us before the game that he's only a junior, but the NBA scouts are already checking out Tom Sherfranz. He's good. Also, Brandy Monks, he can play as well.
Does it all. Kind of like Kyle Persinger of Indianapolis, does just about everything. Scores, rebounds, assists, and plays defense also.
Now the Dons coming off one of their better games of the year Thursday night against Kentucky State. They really got a lot of good balanced scoring, Charlie. We had John Honstrader came off the bench, did well. Doug Reinke had one of his better games. Sean Gibson, Mr. Consistency. Clarence Rich got very hot. Mike Pittman had a big game. Are they going to be able to do that against Bellarmine?
That's the kind of effort you need. If you have an effort like that, if you can get consistent scoring out of 4 to 5 players in averaging in double figures, which this Bellarmine team does have, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
Is the size problem going to be a big trouble spot, though, for the Dons tonight? You know, Andy Piazza has been playing a lot of 3-guard offense. If he goes with 3 guards against Bellarmine tonight, he is going to be severely outsized. You think he's going to go back to the 2-guard, 3-forward offense?
Well, the key is going to be Reinke. Reinke cannot get into foul trouble as he has in the past. He's going to be the key. Sean Gibson, pretty heady player, probably will not get into foul trouble, but Reinke will be the key playing Sherfranz if that does happen, if they do end up one-on-one.
I think what might be important, too, is maybe you have to see Tony Martin might be playing a little more tonight. And I was talking with Pat Murphy before the game, and Pat was saying he had a good game against Bellarmine in Louisville, so he may see some action tonight.
And also to be a chance for us to see this Bellarmine all-Fort Wayne backcourt in Eric Wilson and John Ellington.
That's right. We've got a huge crowd out here tonight. The weather's cleared up a lot from a couple of days ago, and people are out driving their cars again instead of ice skating in their cars. And we have a really nice crowd, one of the bigger ones of the season. Again, Bellarmine, a couple of local players. It should be pretty good. And we're about set to head down to our public address announcer, Mark Banger, and he's going to give us the starting lineups for both teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IPFW Multi-Purpose Athletic Center and tonight's Great Lakes Valley Conference showdown between Bellarmine College and your IPFW Mastodons. First, the starting lineup for Bellarmine College comes in at 9-2 in the GLVC, 18-3 overall. At 1 guard, a 6'4" junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 11, John Ellington. At the other guard, a 6'1" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 15, Eric Wilson. At the center position, a 7-foot junior from Louisville, Kentucky, number 23, Tom Sherfranz. At 1 forward, a 6'9" sophomore from Crestwood, Kentucky, number 31, John Hartledge. And at the other forward, a 6'7" senior from Louisville, Kentucky, number 22, Brandy Monks. Bellarmine College is coached by Joe Reibel and assisted by Jim Sherfranz. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Mastodons. They come in at 4-8, 11-10 overall. At 1 guard, a 5'10" freshman from Greenwood, Indiana, number 4, Jeff Smithy. The other guard, a 5'11" senior from Bloomfield, Indiana, number 10, Mike Pittman. At the center position, a 6'8" sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Doug Reinke. At 1 forward, a 6'1" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Clarence Rich. And at the other forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Lanesville, Indiana, number 41, Sean Gibson. IPFW is coached by Andy Piazza, and he is assisted by John Felsky. And now, before we honor the Stars and Stripes of America, we take a brief moment to offer our thoughts and prayers to our troops and the troops of the Allied forces in the Persian Gulf. And now please join along in the singing with Miss Kathy Dunwitty.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets with their bubbles bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, you know, Charlie, it's... oh, by the way, I want to let the people at home watching know that if they think, "Ooh, this game was supposed to start at 8 o'clock," the first game, the Lady Dons taking on Bellarmine College, went into overtime, so it ran a little late.
And Bell Redmond.
We are starting about 40 minutes late here this evening. The Lady Dons lost to Bellarmine in overtime. And it's sort of like speed versus size tonight at David versus Goliath. Because, boy, you look at Bellarmine out there, it looks like an NBA team. You've got 6'9", 7 foot, 6'7" across the front, 6'1", 6'4" in the backcourt. I mean, they've only got one guy who is smaller than anyone basically on IPFW at any position.
That's right. And they have the three big guys up front, but John Ellington also a great rebounder, averaging about 6 a game. So they're going to have to keep him off the boards in addition to the three big guys up front.
Again, Bellarmine's got a lot of fans here because their backcourt, John Ellington and Eric Wilson, both from Fort Wayne. Ellington played at Northrop and Wilson at North Side. Didn't Wilson played here too, didn't he?
2 years. That makes me feel a little young. I played 2 years with Eric, and I think he's the only guy left in this world that I ever played with.
And sure, France gets the tip, but he tips it over to Jeff Smithy. So IPFW will have the first chance to score. Smithy over to Mike Pittman. The usual starting five for the Dons tonight. Pittman, Smithy, and Rich, the three guards. And Doug Reinke and Sean Gibson up front. There's Gibson looking for someone to pass to. Gets it out to Smithy. He'll fire up a three, and it's perfect. Can't start any better than that. I know before the game, Charlie, Andy Piazza, John Felsky, and the players I spoke with said they were all pretty confident tonight. They really thought they could do well. And they get a good start. There's number 22, Brandy Monks, wide open inside, and 40 seconds into the game, Doug Reinke's going to pick up foul. No, they're going to call it on Clarence Rich.
Number 12, Clarence Rich.
We're going to say Clarence got it.
Alluding to what you just said, Randy, what can happen for a team like IPFW? They don't have any pressure on them right now. And this Bellarmine team has a lot of pressure. They're looking uphill at Ashland and Kentucky Wesleyan. And these Mastodons, they're just fighting for self-respect, and they should be very relaxed tonight.
Monk's first shot is perfect. Of course, the Dons really coming off one of their better performances of the year And they haven't been playing that badly. It's not like teams are blowing them out. It seems like, Charlie, IPFW go through a little stretch every game for 2 or 3 minutes where things just fall apart, and that's why they lose the game. And we're having a delay right now because one of our scoreboards has gone to one scoreboard to our left is totally blacked out. The one on the right is operating. It shows 19 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half, with IPFW leading 3-1. And a foul was on Clarence Rich, his team's first. There you see the dead scoreboard. It is dead. Maybe somebody forgot to plug it in. I know they paid the electric bill because the rest of the lights are on. This gives us a little time, Charlie, to set up what Andy Piazza is going to have to do tonight. There you see the scoreboard that is working. I was also talking to them before the game. The press has not been that effective this year, but last game they used it, and the times they used it, it was very effective. And they seemed to think that it was working better because they weren't using it the entire time, that it was more of a surprise tactic.
That could be, Randy. This IPFW team simply does not have the personnel that we've had in the past to run that press from start to finish in basketball games. So if Coach Piazza picks his times and moments to run that press and catches some teams by surprise, and then on the other hand, when changing defenses, you kind of confuse some teams because they don't know what to expect. So that may come in the Mastodons' advantage.
What do you mean when you say they don't have the personnel? Not quick enough, not big enough? What's lacking?
Well, you're talking about major athletes like in the past when you had a Bruce Rowland, you had a Steve Bart, and you can't forget about Mr. Jordan at the head of that press. When you have guys like that, you can run that press from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. And nothing against the athletes that the Mastodons have this year, because in fact they're about the deepest they've ever been from player 1 through 12. But they don't have the standout players that they have had in the past.
Except perhaps for running the press, Clarence Rich, he would seem the perfect kind of player on the press because he's quick. Seems like he can run all night long, and he's great at stealing the ball. Right now we're still in a delay trying to get that scoreboard fixed. And the scoreboard is actually at the end where IPFW is shooting. So the Downs would be the ones who wouldn't be able to see the score. However, the shot clock is working at that end. So they will know how much time is left on the shot clock, and they're going to go ahead and play while we try to get scoreboard repaired. I guess we should ring up maintenance right now. And Randy Monks will now take his second free throw. He could be iced. He's been sitting about 2 minutes now. Hit his first. Second one, well, a little cold, but it did roll through. And the Downs lead it 3-2. Full court press is on. Jeff Smithy gets it over to Gibson, back to Smithy. He's got 3 to get it across the timeline, and he does it. Now they'll set up the offense. Smithy thinks about trying another three-pointer, but
very close to traveling right there.
Eric Wilson was right in his face. That was going to be a Spalding burger. Pittman drives the lane, nowhere to go. Gets it back from Gibson. Tough man-to-man defense by the Knights. Clarence Rich, a long three-pointer. That one is no good. And Ellington, as you said, a terrific rebounder. Charlie comes down with the ball. Inside Hartledge, outside to Wilson, who nails the three-pointer, and a gym that's very familiar to him. Of course, we just mentioned a few minutes ago, Eric Wilson played his first 2 years for the Downs. There's Pittman with that between the defender's legs pass again. He did it twice last game, hit a three-pointer after. Oh, there's a travel that they don't call. Wilson takes it in, and they're going to call Jeff Smithy on the foul. I think Wilson got away with an NBA move there. When he caught the ball around midcourt, it seemed like he took about 3 steps before he put the move on. Let's see. Yeah, we couldn't see it there. We were a little far away. He gets sandwiched, but they call the foul on Smithy. His first, team second. You see him going in, getting grabbed on the arm. So Wilson will get a couple of free throws. He just hit a three-pointer. Let's see how he does from 15 feet away. First one's perfect.
Eric's become a very good free throw shooter, shooting up around 90%. But Randy, when he played here, he was about a 45 to 50% free throw shooter. And he used to shoot jump shots from the free throw line from about 16 feet. Hard to believe.
The only guy I remember shooting jump shots and making them from the free throw line was Hal Greer when he used to play for Philadelphia in the NBA. Doug Reinke inside. Good turnaround move, a little hard off the glass. Tom Sherfran's made him change that one. Randy Monks Inside, Sherfran. Oh, the ball hit the bottom of the backboard. Wilson blocked by Reinke. Monks picks up the loose ball and scores. 9-3. Bellarmine with the quick early lead. Dons, last time they played, fell behind by 15 early on. Never could catch up. And there's the travel on Clarence Rich. No, the Dons don't want that to happen again, Charlie. When they played at Bellarmine, they fell behind, I believe it was 19-4 early on. Then they played pretty much even the rest of the way. But when you're down that many, you just get tired trying to catch up.
And this is a very experienced ball club, so if you do get behind, they're not going to make the big mistakes.
Inside, Clarence Rich knocks it away, and Sean Gibson picks it up. Great defense by Seabiscuit, the best hands in the GLVC. Inside to Reinke, out to Smithy for a three. Smithy 2 for 2 now from three-point land. He's got all of IPFW's points. Bellarmine leads it 9 to Smithy's 6. Working it outside. Wilson goes inside. Hartledge to Sherfrance. Wide open for the big two-handed stuff. And now the horn goes off inadvertently. We're having all kind of problems here with the electronics. And IPFW going to take advantage of that horn. Doug Reinke goes out, and he doesn't look very happy. Andy Piazza giving him a little talking to. How can you let a 7-footer be so open underneath the basket? There was nobody within 5 feet of Sherfrance when he made that slam.
And I spoke with Eric Wilson last night, Randy, and he said pay attention to how many dunks this Bellarmine team gets. So
well, we're going to mark it right now. That is, we've got a dunk board here now. That is 1. John Honstrader has replaced Doug Reinke in the lineup. Don said that the other night. Honstrader came in early, got a lot of points, and when Doug came back in, he played very well. Reinke almost gets the offensive rebound, but Ellington comes away with it to Sherfrance, but he can't hold it. Wilson with the jumper, no good. Rebound to Hartledge. Underneath, Monks hits Hartledge. Well, he doesn't get a dunk, but he gets an easy layup. And it's 13-6. The Knights out in front of IPFW. Smithy quickly to Pittman. Out top, Gibson thinks 3, thinks not. Rich inside to Honstrader, back out to Clarence, inside to Honstrader again. Pittman fakes the 3, pulls up for the 18-footer, and he gets that one to fall. Dons now cut the lead to 5. 13-8. We've played just about 4 minutes of the first half. Glad you could join us on College Cable Access Channel 6. Randy Schiffman, Charlie, a.k.a. Charles Washington, bringing you all the action. Bellarmine with the ball, working it around. They've got the Fort Wayne connection in the backcourt. Number 15, Eric Wilson, trying to 3, blocked by Pittman. And 11, John Ellington, also from Fort Wayne. So they've got a lot of fans out here tonight. There's a kick on Eric Wilson, so the Downs will get a new shot clock and the ball in bounds.
As Wilson complains, he was fouled on the shot.
Now that's 3 blocks Pittman's had in the last 2 or 3 games, so it can't be a fluke. Sean Gibson tries a 3, he hits it.
3 for Sean Gibson.
3 out of 4 from three-point land in the first 4.5 minutes of the ball game, and they trail it only by 2.
And that's a great sign, Randy. That is a wonderful sign. If Gibson can come out and hit that shot, that's going to open some things up on the inside.
Ellington on the inside, can't get it to fall. Now they're going to call him on the foul, hitting John Honstrader on the rebound. That'll be Ellington's first foul, first team foul on the Knights. You know, Charlie, it's just the opposite of the other night. IPFW did most of its scoring in the first half on the inside, and then in the second half, the Dons took advantage of it by scoring from the outside a lot. Tonight, they're getting the good outside shooting, and they haven't looked much inside early. I guess it doesn't matter which way you do it as long as you do one or the other.
Right, and tonight may be an indication of the size. Those big guys do not want to come out and guard people on the outside, so that shot will be open for someone like Sean Gibson with the ability to sink it.
Sherfrance takes up a lot of room in the middle. He gets a piece of that shot by Honstrader, but it still goes through. Honstrader went up against 6'9" John Hartledge and 7' Tom Sherfrance, and he said, I'm not afraid of no ghost or big guys, and he laid it right over him. There's wide open underneath. His number 31, John Hartledge. That's his second wide open layup in the last minute. And the Knights go back up by 2, 15-13. Sean Gibson playing way out top. Rich for the 3. He hits it. 4 out of 5 in the first 5.5 minutes for IPFW, and the Dons get the lead. 16-15.
They're definitely living by the three-pointer right now,
Let's
Randy.
hope they don't expire by it. Wilson for 3. This is like the NBA All-Star halftime. Everybody's shooting the threes. He missed it. Jeff Smithy pushing it up quickly. Over to Hanstrider. I don't think he'll try many three-pointers tonight. Oh, Pittman trying that between the legs pass once too often. And we've got a tie up there, and the ball will go to Bellarmine on the possession rule. Kevin Shank and Doug Reinke coming in. John Hanstrider and Mike Pittman taking seats. Number 32, Brian Seifert, and also number 21, Dave Retker, checking in for the Knights. The Knights going to a smaller lineup now, Charlie. They get Sure-France out of there. Maybe they'll try a little more quickness because the Dons just shooting so well from the outside.
That could be, Randy. At this point in the game, if they want to get a little more pressure on those outside shots that the Dons have been sinking.
Right off the bench, number 21. Dave Retker tries the three-pointer, and the coaches never like that when somebody cold comes in and fires up the three.
Personal foul on IPFW, number 44.
They're going to get Doug Reinke with his first foul of the evening. 3 team fouls on the Dons. We see the replay. You see Doug. They called in for pushing on John Hartlich's number 31 to get the rebound. Reinke pushing number 22, Brandy Monks, off the court before the inbounds, but they don't call it. And number 32, Brian Seifert off the bench, hits his first shot. And the Knights go up over IPFW 17-16. Clarence Rich almost loses it, gets it to Smithy. Jeff hits the shot and he gets fouled. Smithy 3 for 3 right now. 2 3-pointers and now a 2-pointer. Count the basket. Fouls on number 22, Smithy, wide open, gets the shot, hits it.
Number 22, Brandy Monks, his first to team
because he was fouled after the shot, Charlie, that's going to be Dons get the bucket, take the lead 18-17, and they get the ball back.
Maybe another 5-point play?
No, because Clarence Rich misses the shot, and Kevin Shank can't control it out of bounds. Bellarmine. If you weren't with us on Thursday night, the Dons had 2 5-point plays against Kentucky State where they hit a 3-pointer and somebody was fouled away from the ball. So they almost had a 5-pointer there the other way. Seifert again trying to score since he comes in. Can't make this one. 3-on-1 now. Clarence Rich behind the back to Jeff Smithy. Can't make the layup. Goes out of bounds, stays with IPFW. Clarence with a terrific pass there.
Into the IPFW
Smithy
lineup, number 10, Mike
did not have an easy layup. He was contested on it, and he just missed it. Smithy checks out now. Mike Pittman in. Also Dwayne Shears coming in for Clarence Rich. I like that, though, when I see the Dons running, Charlie. They seem to play better.
That was a terrific pass by Rich. But if I'm Rich, I want to get the ball somehow to Gibson, the bigger guy, running the lane, and he's going to get a better shot for me. But Sean did not have the right angle. Clarence made the right pass because Jeff was a little more wide on the lane and had a better angle.
Speaking of Sean Gibson, he has checked out. And what is this? Do my eyes deceive me? Pat Murphy. We haven't called his name for a while. He is in the lineup. He said he was going to play tonight. John Ellington got the steal there for the Knights. Goes inside and bad pass. Off of Seifert, picked up by Reinke. Dons coming quickly. Shears in the corner over to Pittman. Wide open for the 3. Can't hit it. Ball out of bounds. Knocked out by Brian Seifert, and the ball will stay down at that end with IPFW. Dons really crashing the board so far, Charlie. Looking pretty good right now.
I think it's a matter of there's no pressure on the Dons, and they're just playing well because of that, lack of pressure on them.
Ball almost stolen there by number 21, Dave Retker. Shears comes up with it over to Shank. Now it's Pittman. Plenty of time, 30 seconds on the shot clock. By the way, that one scoreboard that was broken is still broken. So we're working with one scoreboard tonight. Shears outside, drives in, dishes it back to Reinke. Doug drives in, almost double dribbled, but they're going to call him for the travel.
Traveling violation, turns it over to Bellarmine.
Doug looked a little discombobulated.
BC lineup number 33.
What Doug will learn, and probably should have learned by now, is when you have a player drive into the basket right there and drawing some players, you have to start just shoot down that lane.
Yeah, he had to make his move a little sooner. He would have got the ball a step closer, could have taken one step and laid it right in.
The Detroit Pistons live by that
The
play.
pick and roll, we talk about it all the time. It's the best play in basketball. That's why everybody uses it. There's number 21, Dave Retker. Gets the turnaround baseline jumper. And the Knights go back on top, 19-18. Right now, the Dons in one of those stretches, Charlie, where they're not scoring, and there's Doug Reinke picking up his second foul, trying to establish position underneath. Team's fourth. And now Doug's going to have to take a seat, and Sean Gibson will check back in. Doug is, again, getting into some early foul trouble.
Just what we said at the outset of the game, that was going to be a big key, how Doug Reinke played and how he was affected by his foul trouble. And hopefully, he will get back into the basketball game and do some good.
Well, you know, Coach Andy Piazza does not want to see Reinke pick up 3 fouls in the first half. Number 33, Jeff Gano, checked into the game. He misses a shot, and Pat Murphy pulls away the rebound quickly down court to Dwayne Shears. Inside Gibson. Back out to Shears for 3. It's good.
3 for Dwayne
Dons
Shears.
up by 2, 21-19. That is 5 3-pointers for the Dons, 5 out of 7 by my count. Mike Pittman missed 1 and Clarence Rich missed 1. Retker moving, gets it over to 22. Monks outside. Seifert can't get the shot, but Hartledge comes away with it. And it's knocked out of bounds. I don't know if we've got a foul. Yes, we do have a foul. Official comes over to the bench to tell us who it is.
On IPFW number 32.
Number 32, Kevin Shank picks up his first 5 team fouls. And Tom Sherfranz checking back in there. You see Kevin definitely whacked him across the arm. You know, Charlie, I was surprised when they took Sherfranz out. Because if I'm as good as Bellarmine is, I want to dictate the game. I want to keep my big man in and figuring eventually he's going to wear you out or just keep going over you.
Yeah, the caliber of player that Sherfranz is, I'm going to go right to him as many times as I can.
Pat Murphy fronting him, knocked it away. A very late call by the official. Pat giving him the old stare. Pat's first 16 fouls now on the Dons. That was a very, very late call.
First the team's 6.
Looked like Murphy did a good job at knocking the ball away. Fronting Sherfranz. Here you'll see it. You see Pat cut right in. Hit it to Pittman. Well, now coming back live. Shears with the steal, drives his length of the court, and he gets hammered by Dave Retker. And Dwayne Shears will be at the line shooting 2. Good to see Dwayne getting aggressive.
Number 21.
Showed some quickness on that break, too. And a good crossover move.
I thought he was going to get caught around half court. He just took it strong, didn't look back.
Into the
There you see him taking it against 3 guys.
For number 32, Kevin Shea.
They call the foul on Retker, his first team 3rd.
Again, Randy, Dwayne Shears, a player who averaged close to 25 points at junior college. Things I'm sure have not turned out for Dwayne here at IPFW like he would have liked to or even expected. And it's great to see him show flashes of brilliance. Like we saw some flashes last game.
Last game he played very well. He gets both free throws there. He's got 5 now. He definitely has shown that he can do it. I think he just needs to be a little more aggressive. He's a little more self-confident.
There you go. It's probably the confidence level that Dwayne has right now that is keeping him from being the type of player that he was at junior college.
Dons have stretched the lead to 4, their biggest of the game, 23-19. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Pat Murphy knocked it out of bounds, and they're going to call Pat for another foul. That is going to put the Dons over the limit very early. 2 fouls on Pat Murphy, 17 fouls.
His second personal, the team's 7.
Bellarmine's going to be shooting some free throws.
Going the line for the 1-1 for Bellarmine, number 21, Dave Retker.
Murphy reaching in, looked like he got the ball. The ref was right on the spot, though, so you got to think he's made the right call. Dave Retker at the line will shoot the 1-and-1. First one's good. Retker eyes the rim, hits the second one. Seen some good free throw shooting here tonight. Don's lead is now 2, 23-21. Just over 10 minutes to go in half number 1. Pittman thought about going through the legs again, but didn't. Murphy, the good move against Sherfranz. He got him going which way, watch way, and that way, and he puts it in the basket. Pat Murphy doing a nice job early on, as he told us he would.
Yes, he's looking very well, and even the 2 fouls were actually good defensive plays, but he just got the foul called against him.
Murphy and Sherfranz really pushing underneath for position. Eric Wilson underneath with a terrific shot off of the glass. Don's lead is 2 again, 25-23. Terrific ball game out here early on. Pittman looking inside, trying to get it to Murphy. No way he can get it there. Gibson now inside of Murphy. Pat with the fake goes up, and he gets hammered by Dave Redmond. I'll tell you, when you don't play for a while, you get in there, you want to show the coach he made a mistake.
Personal foul.
And again, there are just some teams and some players that others do well against. And as we see here, it seems like Murphy has Sherfrance's number.
Second personal
Good
foul.
head fake.
The
Now,
team scored.
Sherfrance really didn't go for the fake
Foul
that time,
before
but it's
the
the second
shot.
man over the help. This is Sherfrance stayed down, but Redker went for the fake. He got the weak side help, but it wasn't very good. Now, I don't know how in the world they're going to call that a non-shooting foul when you're going up a foot under the basket, but that's what they call it. Shears hits the three. Hey, we'll take that.
Shears.
Chance at 2 at the line. I'll trade that in for a three-pointer. 6 3-pointers for the Dons. They lead at 28-23. Jeff Gano hits the 3 right back at you.
Basket for number 33, Jeff Gano.
Clarence Ritz all by himself goes inside. He gets fouled by Eric Wilson. We are seeing some end-to-end basketball here tonight, Charlie. Neither team trying to slow it up too much. There you see Clarence taking it aggressively 1-on-3. Gets the foul. He'll shoot a couple. Wilson's first foul, 5 team fouls on Bellarmine.
And this style of play has to favor the Mastodons, Randy, because if you set up, you have to figure Bellarmine has the stronger advantage. You have Sherfrance, Hartledge, and also Eric Wilson, the great three-point shooter. So if they set up and run their half-court offense, you have to figure they're at an advantage.
And Clarence hits them both. It also helps the Dons, I think, on their offense, because if they're running fast breaks, the big guys for the Knights are going to be stuck under the other basket, and they're not going to be able to get down there and try to block some shots.
Exactly.
Sherfrance can't keep up with the guards. We know that. But once he's in there, it's tough to shoot it over. Ellington outside. Now it's Wilson with the ball. Fakes the shot, goes inside. He gets hammered by Clarence Rich. Got the shot. I don't know if they'll call that a shooting foul or not. He shot it after he got fouled.
Personal foul.
But the referee says that's a shooting foul.
Rich, his second personal foul. The team's 8.
If that's a shooting foul, I don't know how the foul on the other end was not a shooting foul on Pat Murphy.
Well, in the NBA, they would call that continuation. They're not supposed to have continuation.
For IPFW number 4, Jeff Smith.
But hey,
For number 12.
we only call them, we don't see them. Something like that.
For number 10,
That's
Mike
2
Pittman.
fouls on Clarence Rich, 18 fouls on the Dons. Pittman checks out, so does Clarence Rich checking back in. Let's see, we got Jeff Smithy out there, and number 20, Andy Liebert, making his first appearance of the evening. Set the lineup for the Dons. You've got Liebert, Smithy, Shears, Murphy, and Gibson. There's the full court press. Liebert almost loses it, but he gets it across to Shears. It's knocked out of bounds by John Ellington of Bellarmine. I like to see Shears shoot a little more right now, Charlie. Dons lead at 30-28, 8:49 to go in the first half, and Shears has 8 points already off the bench, 2 for 2 from the three-point stripe and a couple of free throws. Hey, if you're hitting, keep going with it. That's how you score 25 points a game in junior college, right?
I think if we can get some picks for Dwayne and get that skip pass across court, I think he'll be open for some more three-pointers.
There's a kick by Ellington. Dons will get a new shot clock. He looked like he was open for a 3 there, but he wasn't set real well. He also seems like he likes to shoot the ball a little better from the left side of the court than the right side where he has the ball.
And Dwayne, up until today, had been struggling from three-point land, about 9 for 30. But tonight, shooting very well.
Shears and Murphy go out. Murphy gets a nice hand, and Sean Gibson, John Honstrader coming in now.
Murphy did a great job in it, just his physical presence.
Yeah, he'll mix it up with anybody. Lieber tries the 3. He doesn't hit it. About the only one not hitting it so far. Sherfrance comes down with the rebound. Over to Wilson. And Hartledge back to Wilson. Ellington thinks 3, thinks not. Drives inside. Dishes it to Sherfrance. Knocked away. Ellington comes up with the loose ball and ties the game at 30 with the rebound basket. 8:15 to go in the first half. It's 30-30. Dons and the Knights of Bellarmine. Pittman's got to stop trying that between the legs pass so much. I think they've caught on. Ellington blocked by Liebert. Gibson all alone down court, takes it inside against Wilson, puts it up way too hard. Sherfrance, without even jumping, gets that rebound. Over to Hartledge. Now it's Brandy Monks. Wilson from the corner. No good. Honstrader cleans the glass. Now Pittman back the other way. Smithy, Pittman in the corner for 3. Connects Six on the long
Three
distance
for
call.
Mike Pittman.
7 3-pointers for IPFW.
Timeout.
Bellarmine's going to take
Bellarmine
a timeout to
College.
set the defense. They've got to do something. When a team has hit 7 3-pointers on you in the first 12 and a half minutes, you better be making adjustments, right?
I think Bellarmine has to make some adjustments, and what that may mean, which will definitely help IPFW, maybe they need to get some of their big guys out of there and get some smaller, quicker guys out there to put some pressure on those three-point shots.
We want to tell you that you are tuned into your higher educational television access channel in Fort Wayne and Allen County. College Cable Access, Channel 6. There you see it. We hope you like watching the ball games here on College Cable Access Channel 6, because we love bringing them to you. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington calling the game for you tonight. Charlie, 33-30 right now. Dons lead it over Bellarmine. 7:32 to go in the first half. I'm just saying the Dons have been 7 3-pointers already. Most teams don't average 3-pointers in a game.
No, they are shooting fantastically from three-point land.
And there we saw one of the replays of the Dons hitting a 3-pointer, the last one by Mike Pittman. Not bad job so far. Andy Piazza's got to be happy, but he also has to be a little worried, because you can't make 3-pointers like this all night, can you? Don't the law of averages has to catch up sooner or later.
If you shoot 35% from three-point land, you're doing very well, and the Dons are shooting about 70% from there right now, so they have to be ecstatic about that. But as you stated, the law of averages are against you.
Okay, quickly inside off the set play on the inbounds. Ellington got the pass from Monks, couldn't make the layup because he got fouled.
IPFW. Number 20, Andy
He called on
Liebert.
number 20, Andy Liebert, his first 9 team fouls.
Going to the line for 2
on the
shots.
Dons.
Bellarmine, number 11,
Ellington
John
will be at the
Ellington.
line shooting a pair. First one in and out. First free throw we've seen missed tonight. Ellington from Fort Wayne, Indiana, played his high school ball at Northrop. Hits the second, and the Dons lead is now 2, 33-31. There's the press, knocked out of bounds by number 15, Eric Wilson of Bellarmine. Bellarmine's got its starting 5 back out there. That is John Ellington and Eric Wilson at guards, Brandy Monks, John Hartledge at the forwards, and Tom Scherfrantz, a 7-footer, in the middle. Scherfrantz very quiet so far. A couple of rebounds, a block, and 1 dunk. Pittman from 14 gets the bucket and the foul. That's where the three-point shooting pays off, Charlie. He faked the three-pointer. The defender was up in the air. Mike Pittman dribbled right past him and hit the jumper.
Great savvy play by the senior Mike Pittman. He felt the pressure, knew the player was behind him, knew he was going to try to block the shot, leaned in, felt the pressure, felt the contact, and sank the jumper.
And completes the three-point play. The foul was on John Ellington, his second, team 6th. Pittman puts the Dons up 5, 36-31. Long shot by Wilson, no good. And Pittman pushing it up, gets it to Smithy, wide open, fakes the 3, great pass underneath.
Layup for number 50, John Hunstrider, the assist for Jeff Smithy.
The Dons take their biggest lead of the game, 7 points, 38-31, hitting on all 12 cylinders now, running like a Jaguar, 12 cylinders, not just 8 or 6.
And that's what getting one facet of your basketball game going real good.
No look pass to Ellington. Great play there by Randy Monks. He looked like he was going to lose the ball, grabbed control, and did the backwards no-look pass for the basket. 38-33, IPFW still leads at Pittman. Almost travels. He got rid of it in time. Smithy's not going to shoot the 3 there. Liebert might. No. Smithy to Honstrider, inside Gibson against the 7-footer Scherfrantz. Sean misses the shot. Boy, he had a good move, couldn't make it. Scherfrantz this time fouls Gibson. Scherfrantz, I think, is a little frustrated, Charlie.
Exactly. He's not getting the ball on the offensive end, and the Dons are making some pretty good moves on the inside against him. Honstrider's had a couple of good moves in against him. Murphy had some good moves against him, so he has to be frustrated right now.
When you're going up against a 7-footer, you've got to use those head and shoulder fakes. The Dons doing them very well right now. He's not going for all of them, but when it seems like he doesn't know when the shot is actually coming, so you give him that head and shoulder fake. Maybe you go up with it the second time. He thinks it's a fake again, and he can get the shot off. Sure-France, that's his first personal foul. 7 on the night, so they are over the limit. But they call that a shooting foul, so Gibson's got 2. He hits the first and gives the Dons a 6-point lead, 39-33. High-scoring game right now. We still have got almost 6 minutes to go in the first half. Gibson way strong on the second one, so the lead remains at 6 for IPFW. Randy Monks pulled down the rebound for the Knights. Number 33, Jeff Gano, back in now for Eric Wilson. Playing the point. Randy Monks underneath the Sure-France, tipped away by Sean Gibson. Smithy picks up the loose ball quickly to Pittman. Back out Gibson. The corner, Shears for 3. He hits it. Shears won the foul on that one too. He turned to the ref. Shears 3 for 3 from three-point land. Three-point land has 11 points off the bench to lead the team. Dons up by 9, 42-33. Man, oh man, Charlie, this is the bets that they have played.
And as you stated, Randy, that is Shear's spot on the left side. On the left side of that basket.
There's a lob inside for Sure-France. Gets away with the travel. And now they're going to call a foul on Shears.
Personal foul on IPFW number 50, John Hanstrider.
They call a foul on John Hanstrider. His first 10 team fouls on the Dons. Now, Charlie, you want to explain the rule? There you see the lob inside. Gibson couldn't knock it away, and Sure-France got hammered.
Okay, new rule this year. At 7 fouls, you get your 1-and-1 shot.
As always.
But after the 10th foul, every foul is 2 shots, as opposed to the 1-and-1.
Unless, of course,
it is
on a 3-point shot attempt,
there
you
are
get
3.
Sure-France for a 7-footer. Sure shoots free throws. He hits them both. And the Dons lead is now 7, 42-35. Smithy drives inside, and he gets caught against the big guys, and they're going to call him for a travel.
Violation and turns it over to
Pat Murphy's going to check back in for Sean Gibson.
Number 40, Pat Murphy in for number
Charlie, if you got a second, check the stats. What does Sure-France shoot from the free throw line? Because he sure looked awfully good on those two.
Sure-France shoots 77%.
Very good shooting for a 7-footer. That's good for a 6-footer.
Their whole team shoots very well. Wilson at close to 90%. Monks at 81%.
There's Ellington, no good. Hanstrider, great position, comes down with the rebound. He really blocked out Hartledge, who's 6'9". Murphy and Sure-France do not like each other. Man, are they pushing on the inside. And it's the 3 blind mice calling the game. They're not looking at it. It's hear no evil, speak no evil, call no fouls.
And the way it looks, Sure-France may not like that contact.
Long shot by Shears. He finally misses a 3. Sure-France quickly down to Monks behind the back. Puts up the shot. And there is a foul on John Hanstrider, who I have an idea he does not intend to agree with that call.
Nonetheless,
number 50, John Hanstrider.
this is a foul on John Hanstrider.
Going the line for 2 shots.
Hanstrider's got 2 now. Look at now, where was the foul? Unless they say they got him with the body. It's awfully borderline. See it much better on this one. Monks was out of control as he put that shot up. That may have helped him draw the foul. He'll shoot a couple. Hanstrider's got to go out now. He's got 2. Reinke checks in. He's got 2 fouls as well. Kevin Shank has come in for Mike Pittman to set the lineup for you for the Dons. We've got Mike Pittman. Smithy checked out. Pittman stayed in. You got Mike Pittman, Kevin Shank, Clarence Rich, the 3 guards, Pat Murphy, and Doug Reinke up front. A lot of foul trouble right now for the Dons and their big man, Charlie. You got Reinke's got 2, Murphy's got 2, and Hanstrider's got 2. And Monks got 2 too. 2 free throws, that is, for number 2-2. That is a ton of 2s. The lead is 5. 42-37, IPFW with the 42 right now. Clarence Rich cross court to Kevin Shank. Shank gets it out to Pittman. 25 on the shot clock. Not a lot of movement right now for IPFW. Inside to Murphy. Over to Reinke. Clarence Rich will try a 3. And no good. Reinke, good play to get the rebound, but he stepped out of bounds as he went up for the ball. Good hustle, though, by Doug.
Great effort.
Dons have really been attacking the backcourt. Number 31, John Hartledge, checking out for Bellarmine. He's replaced by number 32, Brian Seifert. Looking to get the ball inside to Sure-France, but he was guarded well by Murphy. Ellington misses the long jumper. The Dons come away with the ball. Kevin Shank out to Pittman. Head and shoulders fake. Throws it inside. Stolen away by Seifert. He gets it over to Monks. Monks against Murphy. No call that time. Seifert with the little jump hook, no good. Sure-France underneath, against the basket. That's where it helps to be 7 feet tall. He was going out of bounds, and he was long enough to still lay the ball back in off the glass.
Strong enough to reach way back and put it back in.
Long and strong. Dons lead now down to 3. Kevin Shank misses the three-pointer. And we've got a foul on
Pat Murphy.
That's who it is.
IPFW, number 40, Pat Murphy.
That is 3 fouls on Pat Murphy, so he's going to be sitting down for the rest of the first half.
Going to line
Sean
for 2
Gibson will
shots
come back in for Pat.
Number 23, Tom.
Dwayne Shears also comes in. So does Jeff Smithy. Pat Murphy, Kevin Shank, and Mike Pittman go out.
Murphy actually got a break on the play prior to that on the other end, where the one he actually slapped Sure-France on. No, I think it was Monks on the arm.
Sure-France, perfect on the free throw. He's 3 out of 3 from the line tonight. 7-footer shooting almost 80% from the free throw line. He's got 5 points. Second free throw is good. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point ball game. 42-41, IPFW leads it. Aaron Switch has the ball inside to Sean Gibson. Back out to Smithy. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Aaron Switch inside to Gibson, over to Smithy for 3. Not even close. Quickly, Wilson's going to have the layup here. Using the left hand beautifully. And all of a sudden, the Bellarmine Knights have retaken the lead 43-42. That's about 10 points in a row Bellarmine has scored. Dwayne Shears thinking about that three-pointer. He's hit 3 out of 4. Gets it inside to Gibson. Blocked by Sure-France, but Gibson gets it back, puts it up, won't fall. Sean's going to get a couple of fouls. A lot of offensive rebounds for the Dons tonight, and that had kept them ahead for a while, and now it's keeping them in the ball game. Fouls on number 22. Randy Monks, they call it on his second. Team's 8th. And Sean Gibson will get a couple of free throws out of this.
And the Dons are playing very strong on the inside, and that's a great indication. But what has happened and why Bellarmine has gotten back in this game and even on top is that three-point shot has stopped falling.
That's right there you see Gibson getting his own rebound. And Monks just got him across the arm as he went up for the stick back. Gibson hit the first free throw. Second one rattles in and out. So we're tied at 43. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Terrific game out here tonight. Bellarmine, one of the top 10 teams in Division II in America, fighting for first place in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. IPFW with the role of spoiler tonight, trying to have a say-so in the division race. That ball just goes right through Demetrius Stott's hands, out of bounds. IPFW gets it. Mike Pittman and John Honstreiter come back in. Doug Reinke and Clarence Rich go out. I think Andy Piazza wants Reinke and Rich on the bench so they don't pick up their third fouls. Gibson inbounds the ball too. Jeff Smithy, 1:30 to go in the first half. Tie ball game, 43. Honstreiter up top. Gets it over to Shears.
I think the Dons need to look for some inside-outside action. Get the ball inside and then throw it back out for a three-point shot. Maybe Shears and Gibson.
Well, Shears has to get rid of it. Oh, almost stolen. Pittman comes up with it. It's got Shears in the corner. Didn't see him. Honstreiter. Watch out for that 5-second count. Shears drives in, has it knocked away, but picks it back up. Honstreiter open underneath. Left hand, no good. But he puts it right back up. No good again. Third time's a charm for John Honstreiter. And he gets the foul. That is called staying with it, going after.
Exactly, and that's what you have to do. You can never assume that that shot's going to go in. As easy as it is and as close as you may be, you have to keep going up there after.
It was the first one. The second one looked like a gimme. Nobody even went up to contest it. And then he gets fouled from behind by John Hartledge, one of the big guys, 6'9", his first foul. 19 fouls now on the Knights. Honstrider to complete the three-point play. Can't do it. Dons lead it by 2, 45-43. We've got 45 seconds to go in the first half from the Don Dome, the Mastodons, the IPFW Multi-Purpose Athletic Center. Glad you're with us tonight on College Cable Access Channel 6. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Eric Wilson way outside, gets over to Stott. He drives in, stutter step, over to Gano, gets the runner.
Let's get inside for number 33, Jeff.
And with 20 seconds to go, we're tied at 45. Dons might play for one here. We've got 10 seconds to go in the first half. Smithy setting the offense over to Shears for three. He's hit 3 of them. Make it 4 for Dwayne Shears in the first half. He's got 14 points. And the Dons will go to the locker room with a 3-point lead. 48-45. Charlie, before the game we were saying somebody had to step up. I thought perhaps it would be Tony Martin. He has not come off the bench, as has Sam Long has not played as well. Pat Murphy came in, has done a nice job, but Dwayne Shears, 14 explosive points. I think he's what, 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 6 from the three-point
At least 4 out of 6. We haven't been keeping up here, but he's at least 4 out of 6 from three-point range and doing a great job in there. And as we stated, we needed a three-point shot, get the ball inside and kick it back out. It didn't exactly happen that way, but nonetheless, we got that three-point shot from Dwayne Shears.
And it's been a big difference in the ballgame, the three-pointer. Another thing, too, Bellarmine's Eric Wilson was telling you yesterday how many dunks they were going to get, how many dunks the Knights were going to get. Well, the Knights have 1 dunk. It came early on by 7-footer Tom Sherfrance, who's been very quiet. He's only got 6 points. He's got 4 or 5 rebounds and a couple of blocked shots, but I think they were expecting a lot more out of Mr. Sherfrance tonight.
Exactly. I think that's an indication of the score and how this basketball game has gone. What has happened is Sherfrance is frustrated. He's not playing the type of game he's used to. He's used to getting those 4 or 5 dunks per half, perhaps. And also, Hartlett's getting some dunks also, and that's not happening. The Dons are playing them very tough right now. Murphy's playing tough inside. Honstrader is playing tough inside. And Gibson also holding his own in there. But again, they are not doing what they're used to doing, running over teams that they think they can beat, and that's what's happening tonight, and they're frustrated.
Okay, everyone at home watching, you want to stay with us for the second half of this ball game because it's going to be as terrific as the first half. At least we hope it will be. We can't promise you, but got a feeling it's going to be. The Dons lead at 48-45. Charlie and I are going to rest our throats for a couple of minutes here, but don't you go away because we've got a terrific halftime feature for you. It's the Biological Research Center. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
So you just want to be out, probably out in here is good enough. Why don't you just go?
Though the United States has only recently put environmental policy on its priority list, professors at Indiana University have for some time been conducting research on our changing surroundings. One of the first signs of environmental adaptation can be observed in the nation's water sources, and 3 IU studies are taking an up-close look. With the help of his assistants, Professor Bill DeMott takes a variety of measurements to determine the algae content of this freshwater lake.
And one of the problems you have in a lot of very productive lakes with too much algae is that there's lots of small fish. And there's so many small fish that they eat most of the zooplankton, so there's nothing left to eat the algae.
The algae plant grows out of control because small fish have reduced the number of these tiny algae-eating organisms. From the results of this study, methods might be developed to restore lakes to a more natural balance. Meanwhile, another project is underway to help scientists learn more about the direct effect of water pollution on aquatic life.
So what I'm trying to model with these model streams is the effect of different types of application of a toxicant on the periphyton or algal community.
More simply, Professor John Michael Stewart hopes to discover the different effects on the environment that result from the continuous introduction of mankind's waste and the single contaminating episode.
Another episodic is the Exxon Valdez off Alaska. Continuous is septic tanks leak continuously, fuel storage tanks leak continuously.
In this study, the toxin zinc is introduced in various amounts to these vats of flowing water. The professor then measures the ability for living organisms to adapt or recover.
100 parts per million zinc.
This is the most likely place to find Professor Dan Willard on a Saturday. Willard's specialty is wetlands, and with the help of these students, the professor keeps tabs on the shallow water's ability to cleanse itself.
So that when you get floodwaters, it just soaks up the floodwaters and lets them out gradually during the course of the summer. A lot of bacteria and stuff in there cleaning up the water.
In the past 200 years, nearly 90% of all wetlands in Indiana and other states has been destroyed by agricultural and development practices.
That's a lot. 10% we could tolerate. 20% we could probably tolerate. But now we're eking away at that last 10%.
This is a look at just 3 Indiana University projects that measure the impact of human beings on the planet. Professors hope insights developed from such studies will be used to improve our damaged environment.
Oh, it's better.
Sounds like there's some mean grizzly bears in this forest.
Bears aren't mean, Kermit. They're just predators. Any animal that hunts and eats another animal is a predator. You know, frogs are predators, too.
Yeah, but predators are in trouble because of poaching and shrinking habitats.
That's right. If you'd like to learn more, write Predators, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C., 20036.
Great. Now what's for supper?
Kareem, we'll never see eye to eye.
Don't be so short-sighted. We can both see that space research benefits everyone.
Oh, like the scratch-proof lens developed for the Apollo space camera?
That same technology led to scratch-proof eyeglasses, sunglasses.
And even goggles.
You wouldn't need those if your horse was always in front.
That's a tall order.
What we're learning up there
is helping us all down here.
Space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
Children are the future for the Hoosier State, but for them to lead productive lives in this increasingly technological society, more than the current 40% must get training and education beyond high school. While there's an excellent range of private colleges and universities in Indiana, it's a fact that 80% of Hoosier students who go on for higher education attend one of the 7 state-supported institutions: Ball State, Indiana University, Ivy Tech, Purdue, Southern Indiana, or Vincennes. These colleges and universities educate youth, retrain adults, and prepare the workforce of the future, all at a reasonable price. Preparing tomorrow's workforce is of special concern. More than 200 Indiana business and industry leaders showed their concern by attending a December conference on higher education. Public Service Indiana President Jim Rogers set the tone with his opening address.
That Indiana's level of education achievement is substantially below the national and regional averages in virtually every indicator. The skills of the American workforce are not keeping pace with the rapidly increasing demands of a more competitive world economy. And in a competitive world economy, it's the skills of your people that are so very important.
This conference aimed to find out what the state-supported colleges and universities can do to help business and industry. The overwhelming answer from participants was to pursue the commitment to quality goals developed by the 7 institutions, to improve access to higher education by Indiana citizens, offer more competitive salaries to retain and attract top faculty, and help greater numbers of students complete their degrees.
If you don't have people who have been taught how to analyze problems and work out various solutions, test them out, and then come up with a recommendation, your company is not going to be able to compete. You really don't go to school to learn answers. You go to school to learn how to find answers. And that is a critical role for the college and university today.
We have a problem in Indiana in that the average faculty is paid $2,000 less than faculty across the country. And we can't continue to attract average or above average faculty if we're paying below average numbers.
We just simply, as a nation, are not competing as well as we should in the world marketplace today, and that's going to be even greater, even a greater challenge in the future. And in order to get our people prepared to compete in a global marketplace, they're going to have to be better educated at the primary, secondary levels, and certainly at our higher levels of education. It's going to take more bucks.
The need to have a good continuing education base that people can stay current with the technologies and understand how we're going to have those technologies that will keep us in a competitive environment are, well, they're just key to our growth and survival.
Of course, business and industry are not alone in their concerns about higher education. Students and teachers also value a quality higher education.
The quality of the faculty is going to affect the quality of our education, which in turn will affect how good a teacher we become. I think that at Indiana University, we are struggling to keep some of our best faculty, and that's something that we all need to be concerned about. My heart tells me I want to be a university professor. But one of the considerations I need to look at is how much I'm going to be able to be paid as a professor, and whether that will compensate me enough for the time I plan to put into it.
And here at Harrison, we have a class called Science Research, and I was able to go to Purdue and work with a professor, Professor Injasani, and he's helped me along quite a bit, and we're working on a project right now.
The Outreach Coordinator program is so wonderful because what it does, it extends to all of the teachers in the northern half of Indiana an opportunity to enrich themselves so that they can go back and enrich their students.
The presidents of the 7 state-supported institutions have issued a call for a commitment to quality for higher education in Indiana. Specifically, this commitment involves an additional 3% per year in state funding over 4 years, above increases for inflation and other adjustments. This would bring Indiana close to the national average in state funding per student. Business and industry leaders recognize this will make the state more attractive to new business and keep Indiana competitive.
But we have to convince the members of the Indiana General Assembly that education is an investment, not an expense, that the entire standard of living of all Hoosiers is based on the educational foundation that we're trying to build. We're going to have world-class educations in order to compete in this new world economy. But education has to be a top priority in the state of Indiana. If we're
the quality of the faculty is going to affect the quality of our education, which in turn will affect how good a teacher we become. I think that at Indiana University, we are struggling to keep some of our best faculty, and that's something that we all need to be concerned about. My heart tells me I want to be a university professor. But one of the considerations I need to look at is how much I'm going to be able to be paid as a professor, and whether that will compensate me enough for the time I plan to put into it.
And here at Harrison, we have a class called Science Research, and I was able to go to Purdue and work with a professor, Professor Injasani, and he's helped me along quite a bit, and we're working on a project right now.
The Outreach Coordinator program is so wonderful because what it does, it extends to all of the teachers in the northern half of Indiana an opportunity to enrich themselves so that they can go back and enrich their students.
The presidents of the 7 state-supported institutions have issued a call for a commitment to quality for higher education in Indiana. Specifically, this commitment involves an additional 3% per year in state funding over 4 years, above increases for inflation and other adjustments. This would bring Indiana close to the national average in state funding per student. Business and industry leaders recognize this will make the state more attractive to new business and keep Indiana competitive.
But we have to convince the members of the Indiana General Assembly that education is an investment, not an expense, that the entire standard of living of all Hoosiers is based on the educational foundation that we're trying to build. We're going to have world-class educations in order to compete in this new world economy.
But education has to be a top priority in the state of Indiana if we're going to do what we need to do in the next decade.
While Hoosiers are currently blessed with a strong and diverse system of higher education, changes and improvements will ensure that the educational needs of Indiana continue to be met. The commitment to quality goals of access, success, and quality set the course for a future that will provide the best higher educational opportunities to all Hoosiers. Now it's a matter of finding the resources to follow through with that commitment.
Everybody to IPFW's Multi-Purpose Athletic Center. Randy Shipman and Charlie Washington bringing you tonight's basketball game between the Dons and the Knights of Bellarmine. Dons leading at halftime 48-45. And Charlie, you and I were just looking over the stats. We see one big surprise. It's in the rebounding. The smaller Dons doing a job against the huge Knights.
Yeah, exactly. There are a few keys, and one of those keys are the rebounding category, where the Dons are up 17-16 for the half, and also three-point field goals. The Dons shooting 53%, 9 of 17. And surprisingly, Bellarmine, with Eric Wilson, a great three-point shooter, only 2 of 6. And also, let's look at turnovers. The turnover to assist ratio. The Dons, 7 turnovers, but 13 assists. That's a good ratio right there. So those are the 3 keys in this ball game right now. In the second half, another key will be, can the Dons continue that blistering pace from the three-point range?
And can Dwayne Shears keep up his blistering pace? I think we had him for 4 out of 6 from three-point land. He had 14 points coming in off the bench. Sometimes you don't get 14 points off the bench total in a game. And IPFW gets 14 from Dwayne Shears in the first half. Mike Pittman had 8. Jeff Smithy had 8. Pittman and Smithy, I think, both had a couple of three-pointers. Eric Wilson, the leading scorer right now for the Knights. He had 11. I think the big deal, too, was Sherfrance was very quiet. I thought he had 6 points. They don't list him as one of the leading scorers, but I think we had him for 4 free throws on that one dunk. Sherfrance not really doing so much. 4 rebounds, block shot, 6 points. Not much out of a 7-footer playing against a much smaller team.
And whatever the Dons are doing, they have Sherfrance frustrated. They have to continue doing whatever it is that they are doing to keep him from scoring in this basketball game.
There we see the officials talking with the head coaches, Andy Piazza, of course, from IPFW, and Joe Rybel of Bellarmine, and they're talking about maybe Andy and Joe Rival are saying, look at the officiating hasn't been so good. Maybe we should let the guys call their own fouls. Just kidding.
It's probably the scoreboard. I bet they're discussing what's going on with the scoreboard.
If you weren't with us at the beginning, about a minute into the game, the scoreboard 2 hour left, to our left up here from our vantage point, is completely dead. The shot clock on that side works, and the scoreboard on the other side is working perfectly. So they're figuring out what to do about it now, and both coaches are telling their teams what the officials have decided. I think, Charlie, I always hear coaches talk about the first 5 minutes of the second half, the most important part of the ball game. First 5 minutes of the second half, most important part of the ball game. I think that's going to be it tonight, because the Dons right now, leading by 3, have a lot of confidence against Bellarmine.
Oh, most definitely. Whenever you're dealing with a game as close as this, whenever it's anything from a 7 or 8 point lead on down, the first 5 minutes are very important, especially to the team that's down. But for both teams, it's going to be very important the first 5 minutes who comes out and dictates the pace of this basketball game.
IPFW seemed to play better when the Dons were running the ball. They got some wide open 3-pointers. When they were missing, they were getting some offensive rebounds, and they were keeping Scherfrantz and Hartlich, who's no little guy himself. The forward for the Knights is 6'9". It was keeping them from getting under and setting up in that defense, because boy, when they're standing under there, it's hard to drive.
Exactly. As you stated, the breaks kept those guys out of the basketball game. They could not stay down low and block shots or get up and post up down low on the offensive end. So that pace helps IPFW and does not have an advantage for these Bellarmine Knights.
Well, it looks like a long night out here is getting even longer. The game started about 35-40 minutes late because the women's game between IPFW and Bellarmine went into overtime. IPFW, unfortunately, a loser in that one tonight. And now with the clock breaking, the teams are warming up again. They're trying to figure out what the heck to do about this clock. I think Bellarmine wants it fixed. And IPFW people are saying, hey, we'd like it fixed too. We just can't get it done right now. And now they're coming back off. The players had put their warm-ups back on and were shooting some layups and little jumpers. And now they've blown the buzzer. And it looks like we are going to start the second half. I mean, boy, it's 20 minutes to 10 right now. There you see the dead scoreboard. The 45-second shot clock is working at that end, and you can see the clock. It's 18 minutes to 10. Games are usually just about over by now. We're just starting the second half. But hey, it's Saturday night. Everybody can stay up late.
Sure.
So no problem.
And Bellarmine also may have been complaining a little because this time they have their backs against the clock that's running.
Yeah, and when they're shooting, they're not going to be able to see what's going on either. IPFW has the ball to start this half. Same 5 that started the game. There's Sean Gibson inside against number 31, John Hartlich, and Sean gets Hartlich to foul him. For the Dons, you've got Sean Gibson and Doug Reinke up front, and the three-guard offense consists of Mike Pittman, Jeff Smithy, and Clarence Rich.
Going to line for 2
that is the second personal foul on John Hartlich, number 31. For the Knights of Bellarmine, first team foul. Sean Gibson will shoot a pair, hits the first. The Knights also starting the same 5 in the backcourt. Number 15, Eric Wilson, and John Ellington, both from Fort Wayne. There you see Gibson on the replay with the good fake. Got the foul. Up front, Brandy Monks, number 22 and 31, John Hartlich are the forwards. And the big man, 7-footer, Tom Scherfrantz, number 23, in the middle. Clarence Rich knocked it away, but off of Doug Reinke's leg. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Knights. Scherfrantz, the 7-footer who we've heard a lot about, NBA scouts already looking at this kid. He's a junior, has not done much, but sometimes that'll scare you. A guy could wake up in the second half and explode.
But as you stated, he hasn't done much yet, and to this point, he better hope the scouts are not here tonight.
John Ellington, he's got a fan section right beneath us. Could be his mom and dad here.
Personal foul on IPFW.
Drives the lane, gets the bucket.
Reinke, his third personal
and they
foul.
Call the foul on Doug Reinke. His third, team's first on Ellington. Great move inside. Hung in the air and got Reinke to foul him. And he makes the shot. And now he tries to complete the 3-point play. He does. What is that, 15 out of 16 tonight for Bellarmine from the free throw line. That is keeping them in the ballgame. Dons lead it by 2, 50-48. Sean Gibson gets it over to Clarence Rich. Dons haven't tried a 3-pointer yet this half. You can be sure they will. There it is, Clarence Rich in and out. Reinke can't control the rebound. Ellington pulls it down. Charlie, just like you said at the top of the game, he is a terrific rebounding guard. He's got a few tonight. Gets it over to Brandy Monks. Eric Wilson, he's their big scorer in the first half. Monks inside to Sure France. Block! Oh, you gotta be kidding. Sean Gibson knocked the ball away, and as it was bouncing away, then they call the foul. And the two refs closest to the play did not blow the whistle. Let's look at this one again.
Going to line for 2 shots for BC.
A lot of ball on that one, Charlie.
I think we can credit these 200 referees right down here in front of us from that call.
There you see Gibson looked like he got all ball, and the ref way out by the midcourt stripe calls it Sure France at the line. I believe that is a perfect 5 for 5 for the 7-footer. 50-49, Dons lead it by 1, but maybe not after this free throw. It's tied.
18 for 19 tonight.
Gibson's foul there was his first, team second. Dwayne Shears has checked back in. And Mike Pittman going out right now. Got a timeout on the court. Shears is hurt over in the corner. Don't know what happened to him. He was away from the action. Ref's calling a timeout, let him collect himself. Let's see if we can see it out on the bottom of the screen. No, he's already down. You can see the referee signaling the timeout. He may have just slipped. He may have turned an ankle. He came in for Pittman, and Pittman has left the court. Mike's been having a lot of trouble with a bad ankle this year. He may have gone to get retaped. Well, there's Pittman. You see he is limping around out there, Charlie, down by the bench. And now Mike Pittman is heading towards the locker room. And now Dwayne Shears is also limping, heading to the bench. And Kevin Shank is going to have to check in. That's 2 bad ankles in about 10 seconds from the guy playing the same position.
Exactly. That's a bad break for the Mastodons because both of those guys have been playing very well.
Yeah.
Notably, Shears.
Shears had 14 in the first half, and Pittman had 8. And both of them are heading to the locker room. Now Pittman's walking back out, walking very gingerly. Aaron switch inside to Doug Reinke. He fakes the pass, goes in on Sure France, can't hit it. Hartledge rips down the board. Bellarmine with a chance to take the lead on this trip. Ellington all by himself inside with the finger roll for 2. Sean Gibson yelling at his teammates to come out. Let's play some tougher defense. Can't let a guy just waltz down the middle. And he's right. Clarence Rich loses it to Ellington. He's got Eric Wilson wide open, but he doesn't see him. Ellington doesn't want the 3. Brandy Monks is going to take the 3. No, he doesn't. Inside for the 8-footer off the glass. And Bellarmine takes a 4-point lead, 54-50. Dons quickly call a timeout. Charlie, I think that's a terrific timeout there because the momentum went about 180 degrees in about a minute. Okay, we want to tell you that the next live sports event on Channel 6, well, we'll tell you that it will be this coming Wednesday evening, February 20th. It is February, isn't it? Join us for exciting volleyball action when the Cardinals from Ball State University return to Fort Wayne to challenge the IPFW Volley Dons at 7:30. That's this coming Wednesday evening at 7:30. Where else but right here on Channel 6 College Cable Access Television. What's Andy saying to the guys right now, Charlie?
Well, he's saying we can't let this game get out of hand. We have to keep doing what we had done to get in the lead. But sometimes, in this case, it's kind of difficult to do that because we were living by that 3-point shot. I think we have to punch it in, draw some defenders on the inside, and get it back out. And I think that's what Coach Piazza is telling his troops right now.
Bellarmine's come out smoking this half. In the first 2 minutes and 7 seconds, the Dons have been outscored 9-2. I've seen a 3-point lead turn into a 4-point deficit. I think we might see Pat Murphy back in there pretty soon because he really did a good job on Sure France and just muscling around on the inside in the first half. And the Dons might need a little more of that. Dwayne Shears is getting his ankle taped up. We'll see on the side there. Hopefully he'll be able to come back in. He's played a terrific game. 14 points in the first half. Don's doing a lot of standing around this trip. Smithy trying to get somebody to move around and get open. 15 on the shot clock. Kevin Shank Inside to Gibson, bad pass stolen away by Brandy Monks. He gets it over to Ellington. That was some flat-footed offense there, Charlie.
Very flat-footed.
Wilson in the corner for three over Reinke, no good. Sherfrance has it knocked away. Wilson winds up with the ball, gets it to Ellington. 8-footer is perfect. Man, is he on fire. And it's a 6-point lead for the Knights, 56-50. Dons need a bucket this time down. Reinke inside, over to Gibson. Rich takes a 6-footer, doesn't draw iron. Gibson gets the rebound though. Back out to Clarence. Now Reinke. Kevin Schenk bounces it into Sean Gibson. Back out to Schenk. Over to Smithy. Someone's got to take a shot here. Gibson will try it, and he gets it in the foul. Ooh, that couldn't have come at a better time.
We really needed that one.
There just was not a lot of movement on offense there.
And you have to give Bellarmine a lot of credit. In the first half, they were kind of slacking down on the inside.
Gibson triple team, gets off the shot. Number 22, Brandy Monks, picks up the foul, his third, team second. Gibson at the line will try to complete the three-point play and cut the lead to 3. And that he does, 56-53.
As I was saying, Randy, Bellarmine playing a lot tougher defense on the three-point shots this half, and you have to give them some credit as to some of the slacking in the IPFW offense.
That's what halftime's for, to make those adjustments, and Bellarmine has so far. Ellington inside again, hits another running one-hander. And you think that's his mom and dad right there, Charlie, who are going absolutely crazy every time he makes these baskets? Sean Gibson, great move to the basket, doesn't get it to fall. They're going to call Tom Sherfrance on the foul.
They are definitely family.
Personal foul on BC, number 23. Tom Sherfrance.
That's 2 on the big guy for Bellarmine. 3 team fouls on the Knights.
Foul before the shot.
They're going to call that before the shot, so the Dons will get the ball out of bounds. 16:06 to go in half number 2. Dons lead at 58-53. Mike Pittman must be okay. He's checking back in. And Jeff Smithy will go out. So for the Dons out there, now you've got number 10, Pittman, 12 is Clarence Rich, 41, Sean Gibson, number 20, Andy Liebert, John Hanstrider, number 50. Liebert inside to Hanstrider with the left hand. It is perfect. Boy, Hanstrider and Gibson have perfected that left-handed jump hook the second half of this season.
That was a great-looking shot by Hanstrider.
And the Knights lead it by 3, 58-55. Dons double teaming all over. Sherfrance does great, catch it in the air and bank it in for 2. Nice play by the 7-footer. And I think we're going to get John Hanstrider with the elbow to the neck of Tom Sherfrance. That was not a tough call for the official to make. Hanstrider did it right in front of him. That's 3 on Hanstrider, 3 team fouls.
Number 50, John Hanstrider, is third, the team's third of the second half.
Big guy's getting in a little foul trouble for the Dons. Reinke's got 3, right? And Hanstrider now has 3. And Pat Murphy, does he have 3 or just the 2?
He has 3, I do believe.
That's 3 big guys with 3. Ellington to Hartledge. Trying to get it inside of Sherfrance. He does. Off the glass. All of a sudden, he's warming up. He's got 6 points this half. 12 on the game.
12 on the game.
And it's a 7-point lead for Bellarmine, 62-55. That's about the biggest the Knights have had this game. Mike Pittman outside to Clarence Rich, inside to Hanstrider. Hanstrider again over to Gibson. Out to Rich. Into John Hanstrider, left hand, it works again.
The basket for number 50, John Hanstrider.
Dons haven't hit a 3 this half after hitting 9 in the first half. 5-point lead for Bellarmine, 62-57, 14.5 minutes to go. Brandy Monks under, gets Hanstrider in the air, gets the bucket, gets the foul. That's going to be 4 on John Hanstrider. Brandy Monks will have a chance to complete the 3-point play and put the Knights up by 8.
In that situation, Randy, if you're going to foul the guy, foul him. Do not even let him get the shot up.
You see Monks with a good head and shoulders fake. And Don Strider bit big time. He takes a seat after his 4th foul. Andy Liebert also goes out. We've got some good news. Dwayne Shears had his ankle retaped, and he's back in. Monks completes the 3-point play. Pat Murphy also in. 8-point lead for the Knights, 65-57. What are they, about 21 out of 22 from the line right now, Charlie?
You got it.
Pat Murphy misses a short one. Sean Gibson tip no. Another tip no. 3rd time. That one counts. Sean Gibson, 2nd leading rebounder in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, showing you why. He goes after it and goes after it and goes after it. Cuts the lead to 6, 65-59. Wilson can't get it to fall. Sherfrance misses a tip. Hartledge not close with the rebound, and there's Murphy ripping it down, and he gets fouled.
Personal foul on BC.
They're going to call the foul on number 22, Brandy Monks. That's 4 on him. Team's 4th, so Monks may have to take a seat.
And Randy, even though we have some Dons in foul trouble, they have not been pushed around on the inside by this bigger Bellarmine Knight basketball
Bigger
team.
and stronger. Bellarmine 6'7", 6'9", 7 foot across the front. You don't see that on some NBA team. Randy Monks did go out with his 4th foul, and number 21, Dave Retker, steps in. Dons turn it over. Ellington's got the ball in a cheering section. He gets it stolen by Pittman, but they're going to call a foul on Mike. That'll be 5 team fouls on the Dons this half. Pittman's 1st foul. So no trouble for Mike. There you see him. He got him across the arm. No question there.
I think Mike knew it too. He didn't complain very much.
Brian Seifert, number 32, checking in for Bellarmine. Also, number 21, as we told you, Dave Retker is in. Shot by Wilson for 3, in and out. Sherfrance almost had the rebound. Sean Gibson takes a finger in the eye, and Pat Murphy picks up a foul. A lot happened right there.
Sean can't believe the foul is not against Sherfrance on him.
4 fouls now on Pat Murphy and 16 fouls on the Dons already. They are in a lot of foul trouble. You see the replay. Sherfrance caught him. There's Wilson with the bucket. 8-point lead, 67-59. 13 minutes, 10 seconds to go in half number 2. Wilson just picks Mike Pittman's pocket, throws an elbow, and now he and Pittman almost come to blows. And Wilson threw an elbow into Pat Murphy. Now they're jaw to jaw. This could get ugly out here. The benches are clearing, Charlie. Ref's trying to come in and take a little control here.
And that's very unlike Eric Wilson. The Eric Wilson I knew was very even-keeled, no temper, very fun-loving. But
well, he stole the ball from Pittman, and then they were grabbing at him, and he turned around with the ball and his elbow sticking out, which most players do to try to create a little room for himself. Here we see the replay. You'll see it. He takes the ball away. Pittman grabs him once, grabs him again. So he says, hey, Mike, stop grabbing me. And he put the elbow out, and then Pittman grabs his leg. So now they almost get in a fight there. Then Murphy ran over. The benches started to clear. They call the foul on Pittman, his 2nd, team 7th. So Wilson will be at the line shooting a 1-on-1. But we were about 2 seconds away from that really turning into a brawl.
Exactly. And with Eric Wilson being from Fort Wayne, it may have got ugly here.
The ref stepped in just in the nick of time. Wilson at the line with the 1-and-1. Hits the first. Man, has Bellarmine been terrific from the free throw line tonight. Without question, that is the difference in the game. Only 1 miss. Well, after I say they're terrific, they missed the second. 68-59. Bellarmine leads it by 9 with 13 minutes to go in the ballgame. Sean Gibson on the inside. Back out to Rich. And they're going to call number 32. Brian Seifert for tugging on Sean's shorts. He had a pretty good hold on Gibson there. That is the first personal foul on Seifert. 5 team fouls on the Knights. Dons need to start hitting some more of those 3-pointers, Charlie, if they want to get back in this ballgame.
There you go. One way or another, either inside with the foul or beyond the 3-point circle.
Gibson working inside, gets double teamed, and they call it travel. Looked like he let go of the ball. I don't know where they get a travel on that one. I thought Sean let go of it before he hit the ground. The momentum has really turned in a hurry here. Bellarmine was down 3 at the half. Now leads it by 9 with 12.5 minutes to go. Inside to Sherfrance. He's double teamed by Gibson and Murphy. Smartly dribbles out. Over to Wilson. Ellington in the corner. Plenty of time on the clock. Rector fakes the 3, goes in, dishes it back out to Seifert. Now it's Wilson. Ellington way across court. Rector drives, dishes it off to Seifert. And no good. And Gibson finally takes it down. Dons get the ball back. Clarence Rich might try the 3. He does. Don't think so. A little strong there by Clarence. Ellington driving in, loses the ball off his hip, and Dwayne Shears comes away with it. Definitely running a little gingerly on that ankle that he turned a couple of minutes ago. Murphy, great pass inside to Gibson. Misses the shot because he was fouled. Great pass from the high post by Pat Murphy.
Also a great slide-away move by Sean Gibson to get open.
Seifert picks up his second personal foul. 16 fouls now. Watch this pass by Pat Murphy. Right over the 7-footer. That's what made it so tough.
And Sean has taken a pure beating tonight. He's been hitting the nose a couple of times, knocked down all over the floor, but he's hanging in there.
Now they're saying that's the first personal foul on Seifert. 16 fouls. Gibson hits the first one. Watch this pass again. Beautiful by Murphy. No hesitation. He caught it and turned around and threw it. Jeff Smithy and Kevin Shank replace Mike Pittman and Dwayne Shears for the Dons. Gibson hits them both, and now he'll sit down and get a well-deserved rest. And Doug Reinke, I don't think Doug has scored tonight after he had 12 in the last ball game. He needs to get a couple of points here for the Dons to get back in the ball game.
I have a goose egg under his name.
On the schneid, as we say. And he wants to get off it in a hurry. Dons trail by 7, 68-61. Three-point attempt, no good. And we're going to have a foul on Eric Wilson. Kevin Shank's going to shoot the 1-and-1. 17 fouls now on Bellarmine. Both teams now over the limit. Excuse me, Mr. Referee, 17 fouls means we shoot it. There you go.
No new rule?
They are supposed to know the rules. They are getting paid to officiate the contest. Tony Martin coming in for his first appearance of the game. So now we've seen everybody out there tonight but
Sam Long.
Sam riding the pines. Or the metals, as the case may be. They don't have pine chairs there. They are metal folding chairs. Kevin Shank shooting the 1-on-1. Foul was on number 15, Eric Wilson, his second. Again, 17 fouls now on Bellarmine. Kevin Shank, about 1.5 feet long on that free throw. That baby hit the backboard before it hit the rim. Can't give up those scoring opportunities. Bellarmine just beautiful from the line tonight. Only missing 2 free throws. And they throw the ball away there. Jeff Smithy. No advantage as he tries to hustle it up. Pat Murphy in the high post gets it over to Shank. Driving inside, dishes it to Reinke. Doug gets the easy layup. Terrific drive by Kevin Shank. And a good dish to Reinke for a deuce. The lead down to 5, 68-63. Crowd getting back in the ball game now here. Tom Sherfrance, a 7-footer, getting ready to check back in. Hartledge underneath has it stolen. Murphy comes up with it to Smithy, to Kevin Shank all alone. There's the layup. Now it's getting it in gear, and Bellarmine calls the timeout as the lead has shrunk to 3, 68-65. 10:33 to go in the ball game, and now it's time to listen to our favorite basketball coach, Andy Piazza, talking about the season.
See, what determines a tough season? The problem is they were losing 20 games a year here 3 years ago before I came. And the last 2 years were 21-7 and 20-8 and nationally ranked. So basically people are spoiled. People being everybody, coaches, players, on campus, off campus, community, supporters, whatever. Because you're 10-10 does not mean that you're unsuccessful. Because you're 18-2 doesn't necessarily mean you're successful. Right now, yes, we only have one senior on the team, and there are 37 in the conference. Most teams have 4 or 5 seniors. We have one. We started freshman point guard. I don't like doing that, but he's doing a good job at it. He's learning. We lost at Southern Indiana and at Kentucky Wesleyan, so did last year's great team. The second half against Kentucky Wesleyan is about as well as we've played all year, and we had been on the road 4 days, and we're 10-10. We don't have a winning record right now, and despite all that, the kids played so well against Kentucky Wesleyan. Second half I'm talking about. The first half was kind of disastrous, but we're looking for a carryover effect for this week. Of our 8 games left, 6 are at home. But also, people don't realize that Ashland was #1 in the nation for the last 6 weeks. All of a sudden, they're second in our conference. Bellarmine, who was 6th in the nation, is alone in first place in our conference. Kentucky Wesleyan, who was the defending national champions, just beat Ashland, and they were ranked 7th in the nation last week. So now, next week, and when the rankings come out, you're going to have 3 of our 10 teams ranked in the top 5 in the nation out of about 240 NCAA Division II schools. So how tough is our conference?
This is three-pointer there, but he followed up beautifully, gets the bucket. But they call an offensive foul on Reinke. Are they going to count the bucket? What does the ref say? We're still waiting to see what they say about the bucket. That is 4 fouls on Doug Reinke. You see him try the three-pointer, fouled it beautifully, goes inside, and they say no basket.
I think Harlech was side shifting there, Randy. That's a no call or a block.
That's one they usually don't call against you at home.
No home cooking on that one.
No siree. Dons really have turned the defense up a notch now. That too. And now they're going to call Pat Murphy on the foul. Is that it for Murph?
I believe that's it.
No, they're calling on Reinke.
He's gone.
They call this a double foul. Oh, now Reinke and Reinke said to Sherfrance they weren't saying anything bad there. They were just saying, he just said, I can't believe they called the foul on both of us. That was, pretty pathetic. So Reinke's out. Sherfrance, the 7-footer for Bellarmine's now got 3. Knights have the ball in the lead, 68-65, 9:20 to go in the second half. What has been a terrific ball game. Tony Martin ties up number 11, John Ellington, and they call Tony with the foul. And Ellington and Martin going at it a little.
It's getting a little hot in the Don Dome tonight, Randy.
Tony Martin, first personal foul. 10 team fouls on the Dons now. So Ellington will shoot 2. Hey, you see, it looked like Martin had the ball and just ripped it away.
Yeah, it looked like at least that should be a tied-up ball. That should not have been a foul.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie, the last couple of games, Andy Piazza has been a little more vocal against the refs than I've probably seen him in the 4 years that he's been coaching here. He usually just says, hey, the refs are going to be the refs. There's nothing you can do about them. It's beyond your control. But I have seen him really been upset with some calls lately. Very unlike him.
Well, we've seen some less than spectacular refereeing the last few games, Randy.
Ellington makes 1 out of 2, and now it's a 4-point lead. Now, it's funny, I was watching the women's game tonight, sitting with athletic director Arnie Ball, who used to officiate a lot of basketball games. And he is of the opinion, and I agree with him, we were talking about this, that the level of play in basketball, high school, college, the pros everywhere, has improved so much over the last 10 or 15 years, and the officiating has simply not kept up with the level of play. He said, really, the only good refereeing you see these days is in the NBA. It's not just Division II. It's not just high school, because you see a lot I know we've got a lot of Big Ten fans out there, and you see some horrible officiating in the Big Ten, too. It's not just the small colleges. It's everywhere, really, but the NBA.
But I bet if you talk to 8 out of 10 NBA players, they'll say, no, it's not here either.
Sean Gibson was fouled by John Hartledge. His third, team's ninth. Gibson with the one-on-one hits the first. I don't know. I think NBA officiating is really good because the officials, you don't even notice them usually. The players decide the game. Too many college games are decided by the officials. Gibson can't make the second one. Dons trail by 3, 69-66. 8:45 to go in the second half. Bellarmine taking a little time off the clock. Ellington says, I'll try the three, and hits it. He's had a big second half, playing in front of the hometown fans. Went to Northrop High School. Tony Martin driving inside. Over to Gibson. Smith, he'll try the three. Too strong. Dons have not hit a three this half after making 9, count them 9, in the first 20 minutes. Ellington inside again. He walks that time. His mom didn't like that call. Mike Pittman coming in now. Jeff Smithy going out. Dwayne Shears will also come in for the Dons in place of Pat Murphy. And Clarence Rich also coming in. Kevin Shank, we're doing this one at a time.
We need to get Clarence Rich going as we see him on the screen there. Clarence only has 3 points tonight on one three-pointer very early in the first half.
What did he have, 22 the other night?
Yes.
22 Thursday night against Kentucky State.
Averaging right around 13 points a game, only 3 at this point.
Mike Pittman tries a three. That won't be close, but he got fouled. Uh-oh. Now the ref is saying after the shot, so that'll only be a 2-shot foul. Andy Piazza and John Felsky are saying, oh no, how can you say he wasn't fouled in the act of shooting? I don't know if we'll get a chance to look at that one, but it sure looked like he was letting the ball go and he got hammered. Pittman will shoot too because that is 10 team fouls on Bellarmine. Pittman hits the first. That is the third personal foul on Dave Rector. Again, 10 team fouls now on Bellarmine, so all the fouls will be 2-shot fouls for the Dons. Pittman misses the second. Sherfrance has it knocked away. Pittman comes up with it, throws up the shot, and he gets hammered by Sherfrance, and that's 4 on the big guy. That's some good news, Charlie.
That's a great move by Mike Pittman. Mike Pittman knows he cannot shoot over Sherfrance, so what he does, he gets airborne, waits for Sherfrance to leave his feet, and then he draws the contact with the body.
Pittman has no fear on a basketball court. If there were Manute Bol out there, he would try to shoot the ball over, and he just doesn't care, and that's the attitude you've got to have.
And the thing Sherfrance did is leave his feet.
Exactly.
For a player as small as Pittman, he would not have had to leave his feet to block his shot.
Sherfrance at 7 foot could knock Pittman's shot up to where we're sitting, halfway up the bleachers without leaving his feet.
Flat-footed.
And Pittman gets 2 free throws there, and all of a sudden the Dons trail just by 3, 72-69. 8 minutes to go in the second half. Sherfrance now with 4 fouls is on the bench. But they've got a 6'9" guy, John Hartledge, who fills in quite nicely at center position. Thank you very much. Bad shot there by Dave Retker, and Clarence Rich pulls it down. Dons can tie it with a 3, pull within 1 with the regular bucket. Clarence Rich driving, dribbles it off his leg out of bounds.
Clarence got caught that time on the baseline with not a lot to do. There's not much you can do on the baseline when you got a 6'9" guy blocking your path.
Also, like you were just saying, Charlie, he hasn't been scoring a lot tonight, so he might be forcing it a little.
Exactly.
Cross-court pass to Ellington. Over to Wilson for 3. No. And Shears gets a terrific rebound. Don's boxing out very well this half. Pittman walked. He did. He was going to pass it to the left, then he decided nobody was open, went to pass it to the right. And he took an extra step in between. You're not allowed to do that. That was a big turnover. That's 2 times in a row the Dons have come down with a chance to tie it with a 3-pointer, or at least pull within 1. And they have not got a shot off, Charlie. That'll drive you nuts. And now number 21, Dave Retker. Maybe he saw his mom sitting in the crowd. He said, hey, Mom, I have a gift.
He almost broke the windshield of the car over there that we give away for the person who hits the half-court shot.
That's one of those we like to say the Jolly Green Giant couldn't have snagged that one.
Right now, this is a very big possession for the Dons. They need to score. They don't have to look for the three-point shot. They just need a good possession and at least get 2 out of it, or a chance to go to the free throw line. They need to set something up and run a good play this time down the court.
7 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Dons trail by 3, 72-69, and the last 2 times down, the Dons haven't gotten off a shot. So they could be in the lead right now. We're looking for the lead at least. Except for those 2 turnovers. They dribbled the ball out of bounds and then a traveling violation. Clarence almost took a 25-footer, but he decides to pass it to Shears, who hasn't shot this half after having 14 in the first. Gibson inside. Great move against John Hartledge. Gibson using that left hand to perfection. Well, you kids watching out there, when your coaches are yelling at you, use both hands, use both hands. That's why you're doubly as effective on the inside when you can shoot with either. Dons trail by 1 now, 72-71.
I think Hartledge was complaining that he got hooked.
Pittman with the block. And what are they going to call? It's either Tony Martin with the blocking foul, or is it John Ellington with the charge? They call it on Bellarmine. Ellington with the charge. There it is. Good position by Tony Martin underneath there. And Tony Martin will get a couple of free throws. Look at him driving in. Yep, Tony Martin was definitely standing there. That is 3 personal fouls on Ellington, who hurt himself a little on that play too. He twisted a knee or an ankle, and he's taking a seat. And he's had about 10, 12 points in the second half, so that's good news for IPFW.
He's carried the Knights in the second half thus far.
Martin's got 2 shots, misses the first. Needs this one to tie the ball game. The Dons have really fought back well in the second half. They were leading by 3 at the half, then fell behind by, what was it, 7 or 8 points, Charlie, and now they've tied it up with 6:19 to go. It's 72-72. Wilson inbounds to Hartledge. Over to Gano. We'll get it out to Brandy Monks, who's been awfully quiet tonight. This guy usually kills the Dons.
Exactly. Usually has close to a triple-double.
I know. He plays so well every time I've seen him play, and he just has not done anything tonight. Been in foul trouble. Here's a short jumper by number 32, Brian Seifert. Putting the Knights up by 2, 74-72. Shears, come on, Dwayne, take a shot. There it is. He buries the 3-pointer. Thank you for listening, Dwayne. He's got 5 3-pointers, 17 points on the evening. Dons go out in front, 75-74. 5.5 minutes to go.
Dwayne must have his beeper on, Randy. He had to hear you say that.
Hey, I can coach from up here.
This is the best place to coach.
Yeah. Tom Sherfrance, 7-footer, getting ready to check back in. Gano answers with a 3-pointer of his own. And now it's the Knights by 2. Shears quickly the other way. It's a good time to not take the shot. He really didn't have his feet set. Gibson almost has it stolen by Wilson, but he holds on. Now it's Pittman with 30 on the shot clock. Inside to Gibson. Back out Pittman for 3. No good. And there's Randy Monks with the rebound. Maybe I shouldn't have said he hasn't been doing much, because now he'll probably get 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a couple of baskets. Monks inside to Seifert. Short jumper, draws air. Not much else. Gibson pulled down. Well, I guess you could call it a rebound. It was a shot. It didn't hit anything.
Sean will take it.
Pittman gets it over to Tony Martin. Working hard on the inside. Shears will try another 3, and he just misses off the front rim. And Eric Wilson has the rebound.
That's a good shot, though. Dwayne needs to take that shot. The way he's been shooting thus far, he has to keep taking that shot.
No question about it. He was perfectly squared, had a lot of room to get it off. Gano drives in. Good move. Can't hit the short jumper. I thought they might get Hartledge for over the back, but they don't. And Gibson pulls down another rebound. Sean looks really winded right now. They might want to take him out for a minute. There's a kick on number 15. Eric Wilson. And John Felski applauds that call. Smithy checking in. Sean is looking over towards the bench. He's huffing and puffing right now, Charlie. Think he might need a breather? Saying something to Coach Piazza.
He's asking for a timeout.
He definitely needed a breather. Yeah. He knew he couldn't go anymore.
Sean doing, again, a yeoman's job on the board.
He's got to have a dozen right now. He is just playing a great ball game. Okay, and now as we check out the timeout, we'll also check out head coach Andy Piazza. talking about success for his Mastodon basketball team.
With our kids, because a lot of them have improved since the beginning of the year. A lot of them are doing well in school academically. We're looking at 4 full-time starters back next year. We're looking at 11 lettermen back next year, and we're looking at all those kids playing well the last month of the season. Whether we go 0-8 or 8-0 or 4-4 the last 8 games, as long as they do the things that we ask them to and try their best and do well in school and give everything they have the last 8 games, which they are right now, then that's successful to me. I guess I determine if we're successful or not. So I don't think we're having a bad year. And I don't know if we're struggling anymore. And leadership is somewhat, sure. You say some people say we lack leadership, but Mike Pittman just stepped forward and did a dynamite job at Kentucky Wesleyan. Smithy's doing the best he can as a freshman because he's a very quiet kid to begin with. Some of our sophomores do not necessarily step forward and be vocal. But the thing is also we forget we were spoiled in the leadership category as far as a vocal, vibrant, energetic, a person with a lot of charisma was Lawrence Jordan. Those kids don't come around that often. And he started for me for 3 years. Go back 4 years ago when he was a sophomore, he was not the person he was as a junior and senior. So he was very successful in improving things like that. And we can't expect this year's kids to take over and make up for or replace a Lawrence Jordan. So leadership-wise or situations like that, we're not there yet.
On the court tonight, Clarence Rich at that huge three-pointer. That is a huge bucket. His second of the game, his first points of the second half. Dons lead it by 1, 78-77, and then Tom Sherfrance fouled on the other end. They called it on number 23, Dwayne Shears. His first. Sherfrance will shoot 2, and he is perfect. That was a good foul, though. Sherfrance would have had an easy stuff. And that's the one where, hey, make him work for those 2 points, as you like to say, Charlie.
There you go.
Second one is up, and it's good. Now it's the Knights leading by a point, 79-78. We've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. What has been a whale of a ball game at IPFW tonight. Very glad you're with us here on College Cable Access Channel 6, bringing you all the exciting action of Dons basketball. Tony Martin with a 3. Sean Gibson gets pushed to the floor, and the ref says, gee, you must have slipped. Andy Piazza throwing his arms up, saying, what, no call? There's Sherfrance over to Hartledge now. He'll take it out. They've got 30 seconds to shoot the ball. A lot of pushing, a lot of jockeying for position inside. Gibson cuts in front of Sherfrance and gets the steal, and he's got to call timeout. He just got kneed. He can barely move.
Sean is, again, is taking just a brutal beating tonight from Sherfrance, Hartledge, Monks.
Charlie, he gets hit as much as somebody playing fullback in the NFL during a game. I've never seen a guy get battered around so much, and he's got the greatest facial expressions out there. And then he's like, he's pulling himself up, and you'll see him limp down court, and then all of a sudden he lights up when he gets the ball or goes up for the rebound.
That could be a little psychology for the other team.
He's a tough kid. I don't think Andy Piazza liked his shot selection last time down. Tony Martin taking the 3. There's Sean on the inside with the left hand. No, with the right hand. He switched it in midair. Shoots it over 6'9" John Hartledge and 7' Tom Sherfrance. And the Dons back out front 80-79 under 2.5 minutes to go out here. What a great ball game tonight. Ellington on the inside wide open with the short one. Barely draws iron, and Seabiscuit gets his biggest rebound of the night. Look for the Dons to run some clock now. Jeff Smithy holding up his hand saying, let's take it easy, fellas. Let's get us a good shot this time. No turnovers, nothing forced. Tony Martin's got the ball outside to Shears. Now it's Clarence Rich, 25 on the shot clock, inside to Gibson. Hartledge trying to steal it. Sean almost loses it. Now he gets fouled. Oh. Silly foul on John Hartledge. Sean Gibson was in trouble, and the shot clock was winding down rather quickly.
And he was very close to a 5-second call also.
That's right. That's a good point. 4 personals now on John Hartledge, so both of their big guys, Hartledge and Sherfrance, have 4. Sean Gibson will be at the line shooting 2. 1:52 to go here Dons lead it by 1, 80-79. This has been the most exciting game we've had out here this year, Charlie, because Bellarmine, a quality team.
Yes, and a great comeback by IPFW. They got down 7 or 8 points in the earlier part of the second half. They've come back, taken the lead, and right now they're playing quite well. And at this point, Sean Gibson has to knock down those free throws.
And I just saw John Felsky checking with the officials to make sure how many timeouts they had left, and there are 2 timeouts left for the Dons. We want to remind you to tune in to Channel 6 this Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. You can watch taped replays from February 2nd's women's and men's basketball games at 7 o'clock. The Lady Dons meet the Lady Pumas of St. Joe College, and at 9 it's the Greyhounds of the University of Indianapolis challenging the IPFW Mastodons in Great Lake Valley Conference. That's right here on Channel 6 tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock.
The tape replay of this evening's IPFW basketball game will be shown on Channel 6 Sunday evening, the 3rd of March, beginning at 7 o'clock with the Lady Dons and the Lady Bells of Bellarmine. And then this basketball game, which has not concluded, with the IPFW Mastodons and the Bellarmine Knights.
And this, Charlie, has been a great game. It's a pleasure to work games like this when they're tight and both teams are playing well. It has not been a very sloppy ball game. And some great individual efforts, some great team play, good offense, good defense. Basically what college basketball is all about right here, to use a time-worn cliche.
And also, as indicated by the near 5 or 6 altercations, great intensity out there.
Sean Gibson hits the first. Dons up by 2, 81-79. I don't think we're going to have a lot of trouble picking our Dandy Don player of the game tonight. Hint, hint. Gibson hits the second. Dons lead it by 3 with 1:50 to go. Our producer, Greg Schmitz, asking who's going to be the Dandy Don player of the game. Greg, I'll tell you this, I don't think you're going to have to break a tie tonight. I think it's pretty obvious who our player of the game is going to be. Inside, Brandy Monk's working, forces a shot, it won't fall, and there's Sean Gibson with the rebound. But he walked because he had to step over Tony Martin. And once again, Sean on the floor and hurt.
He has to lead the league in a new category, Randy. How many times a player hits the floor in one evening? Sean has been down at least 10 times tonight.
He's a hustler, though. He's a hustler. Sean, one of the many players in Division II basketball who could easily play Division I. Brandy Monks for 3, way short. And look who gets the rebound. Why, it's Mr. Sean Gibson, number 41. The most viable candidate for the Dandy Don player of the ball game here tonight. 1:15 to go. Dons by 3, going for the big upset of a top 10 team. Clarence Rich down the middle, no good. Oh, Brandy Monks comes down with the rebound. Clarence might have shot that one a little too early. We're under a minute to go now. Dons by 3. Wilson's going to fire a tray. It's short. Rebound to Monks. Up. Blocked. Oh, I thought they were going to call a jump ball, but they're going to get a foul on Sean Gibson. That is his second personal, so Sean not in any foul trouble.
And with the physical play we've seen tonight, it's kind of hard to believe that Sean only has 2 fouls.
There you see Monks just snuck inside for the rebound. Nobody boxed him out. Gibson got the ball, but he got him with the body, too. So Monks will be at the line shooting a pair. Again, he has not done much tonight, but he's a great free throw shooter. Don't we have to say that and then he misses? Well, it doesn't work.
Didn't work this time.
What is Mr. Monks from the charity strike?
Brandy.
Check the Stat-O-Matic
we haven't talked
computer.
about that name tonight either. Brandy Monks.
Brandy, you're a fine.
Close to 82%. 81.5.
Hey, just a great free throw shooting team tonight. Just a great free throw shooting team. Hits them both. 1-point ball game with 53 seconds to go. Dons lead it 82-81, and Bellarmine takes a timeout. And Charlie, that's one rule I really hate in college basketball, that you can call a timeout when it's the other team's ball. They always talk about speeding up the games. That's how you can speed up the game. You don't allow those timeouts after you make a basket.
Great point.
One other thing we'd like to remind you that you're watching a special live sports event on College Cable Access Channel 6, and it's brought to you by IPFW with the support of the city of Fort Wayne. And, of course, the support of all of our viewers out there. Anytime you'd like to make a donation to College Cable Access Channel 6, feel free to either call and get the information or just mail a check on in, and we would certainly appreciate it because we basically do these games for free.
And don't send the check to Rainier I. Make your check out to the Indiana-Purdue Foundation in care of College Cable Access, Channel 6.
I promise. Send me a check. I will designate it for college cable television. 53 seconds to go. Dons lead at 82-81. If you're Bellarmine right now, Charlie, you're not thinking foul, are you? You've got to think, let's play tough defense and try to force a miss, correct? You don't. Last thing you want to do now is foul. You're going to get the ball back.
Yes, that is the last thing you want to do. You have 53 seconds. You can spend the whole 45-second shot clock. But if you get to a point where they're going to get an easy shot, you make them earn it at the free throw line. But what you have to be careful of is not letting them get the ball up on the glass in chance of a three-point play. That's what Bellarmine is saying. On the other hand, IPFW is hoping the exact opposite of that.
And if you're Bellarmine, I would think you'd want to foul Tony Martin out of the 5 out there. Pittman, Gibson, Shears, and Rich can all hit those free throws. Tony Martin, a little iffy out there.
And plus, he's cold.
Yes. Shears with the ball. Got to watch that 5 count. Now he moves it inside. Back out to Clarence Rich. 25 on the shot clock. 30 now on the game clock. It's about a 7-8 second differential. Dons have to start looking for the offense now. 15 to shoot. Pittman gets to Gibson. 10 seconds to shoot now. Let's get something going here, fellas. And they're going to get a foul. Eric Wilson with 8 seconds left on the shot clock fouls Mike Pittman. Pittman will get 2 free throws. That is 3 personals on Wilson.
That's poor recognition on Wilson's part with 8 seconds and Pittman dribbling the other way. No chance. He's not even looking at the basket as far as to score. And there are only 8 seconds. Let him dribble around as much as he wants.
If Pittman buries them both, Bellarmine's going to have to hit a 3-pointer to tie it up. Here you see the replay. Pittman only had 8 seconds right there. He was going to try to get the ball to Gibson down low, but then Gibson only would have had a couple, 3 seconds to get a shot off. Pittman picture perfect on the first free throws. This would be a big win for the Dons. Pittman misses the second, and Bellarmine not taking the timeout coming up. No, now they do take the timeout. I'm of the school of thought there, Charlie. If I've got just a few seconds to go, I don't like calling a timeout. You should have coached your kids. They should know what to do with the ball in the last 10 seconds of the game. You bring the ball up. Don't give the other team's defense a chance to set up. Now Andy Piazza is going to be able to design how he wants to stop this play.
Exactly. That's the key. And you have Ellington, who shot well from 3-point range, and Wilson, who has not shot well but is a great 3-point shooter. And plus you have those big rebounders up there in case you miss.
Now one other point we need to talk about, Charlie. You're down 83-81, 2 points down on the road. Do you play for the win or do you play for overtime? Most coaches say on the road, I want to try to get the W.
Yeah, because you don't want to get into overtime because then the crowd usually takes part in the game and you're at a disadvantage. In this case, again, with the 3-point shooters that Bellarmine has and with the big rebounder, they may take the 3-point shot and then take their chances at getting the rebound.
You've got to get off a quick shot, though. You've got 11 seconds to go in the game. You want to get a shot in the next 4 or 5 seconds in case you miss and you get a rebound. You've got to look for number 15, Eric Wilson, number 11, John Ellington, and number 22, Brandy Monks. Those guys can all shoot the threes. Here we go. Ellington's got it. Over to Wilson. Gets it inside to Monks. 5 seconds to go. Monks inside to Hartledge. Gets the bucket. 2 seconds to go. They played for the tie.
Timeout. IPFW.
Bellarmine really took its time. If that shot doesn't go, this ball game's over. Because when there are 2 seconds showing on the clock, there are actually less than 2 seconds left. Because once that baby hits 0, the game is over.
And you have to give the Knights credit. They were very patient. They took their time and got the good shot. Although Dwayne Shears, had he been paying attention, could have knocked that pass away, the pass that went to Monks.
There was some good defense there. Bellarmine had no chance to take a 3. They were chest to chest with every offensive player, the Dons, and they just played good defense. But that was a terrific pass by number 22, I believe it was Brandy Monks. Came up with a big play there.
Exactly, and we're on the verge of another overtime game.
That's right. That's right. The women went overtime tonight. Bellarmine won that one. And IPFW had a chance to win that one at the end with less than 1 second. The Right now, you got to figure, here you see the replay right at the end there, Hartledge making the basket. The pass by Monks is what set that up. Got to figure the Dons are going to try to throw the ball at least to half court and get off a long shot. It's going to be hard to throw it all the way because you've got the big guy, 7-footer, Tom Sherfrance underneath, and also you're going to have 6'9" John Hartledge blocking Pat Murphy on the throwing. Though Murphy can run up and down. He's going deep with it. He gets it to Gibson and Rich. They bounce against each other. The ball goes out of bounds, and the buzzer sounds, and the game. Well, at least the regulation game is over, and we'll go overtime.
Guess who's on the floor?
Sean Gibson again. But I think he got hit by his own man there. Dons were hoping to draw the foul. Both teams.
Well, I think Bellarmine may be arguing that there's more time left on the clock, and that ball went out of bounds off of IPFW's hands.
Well, the ball was touched early, and then it bounced a couple times in bounds and rolled out, so that could easily be a second and a half. You know, there may have only been 1.1 seconds on the clock. We don't know because he touches it there. Two guys collide. The clock starts as soon as it's touched. It took about a second or so for it to roll out of bounds. Somebody got kicked by somebody there, but it might have been Clarence Rich kicking Sean Gibson because they had the main collision there. Good idea, trying the long pass. Just couldn't free anybody up enough to get the ball.
Well, we had two players going for it, and at least we did have some people hungry enough to go for the ball. But in that case, they bumped into each other and knocked the ball out of bounds.
And Pat Murphy really had to arc that ball because he had to throw it over 6'9" John Hartledge. Usually, you try to whip the ball real hard to get it up there fast so no defenders can cut in. We're going to have a chance to look at it again. We'll show you what we mean. See how high he had to throw it? It's out of the screen. And by then, he had number 11, John Ellington, getting back. Now, if he's not there, Gibson or Rich makes a clean catch, turn around and fire up a shot. Oh, there was a lot of contact on that one, but I don't think you can call a foul there, Charlie. Too many bodies flying from too many different angles to try to figure out who hit whom first.
And Pat Murphy must have been a baseball player because he was put in specifically for that one pass.
Well, they knew they needed a tall guy to throw it over Hartledge. And Sherfrance will jump against Gibson now. Sherfrance tips it, but Pittman steals it. That's twice they've done that tonight. Pittman, did he travel there? They didn't call it. Gibson inside, puts it up, no foul, gets his own rebound, puts it in. Sean Gibson has had a player of the week kind of game tonight. He really has. He's done it offensively, defensively, on the glass, scoring. He's taking a pounding. He's like a Timex. He's like a Timex. He's been taking a licking, but he keeps on ticking.
The people won't even have to sweep the floor tonight. Gibson's the
throw away. Out of bounds off of Monk's hand. Bad pass by Wilson. Way too hard. The Dons have the lead, 85-83. 4:25 to go in overtime, and the Dons have the ball. This is a position you want to be in. You are being treated to a terrific college basketball game tonight between IPFW and Bellarmine. Bellarmine ranked in the top 10 in the country in Division II. Dons struggling this season at 11-10, but have been playing well of late. We've got a jump ball, and I believe Bellarmine's going to get it. A change of possession, I could be wrong.
And look who's getting off the floor once again.
Sean Gibson. He is going to be very sore about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It really takes about 18 hours till the soreness kicks in. Tonight he won't feel so bad, especially with the win. Now they're saying it's the Dons' ball. That the jump ball in overtime does not count.
It should not
towards the change of possession rule, which is correct.
That was not a very good idea.
But now the official's saying you got the tip, so they get the ball. But the coaches are going to argue that has nothing to do with the possession. I'm laughing because I'm just looking at Andy. Well, you see it too. Andy Piazza's reaction, just sort of shaking his head like, I think if he had a caption like in a cartoon, one of those balloons, he's probably thinking, they haven't called it right all night. Why should they start now? Just a thought I had. Monks inside. Great pass to Ellington for the layup. Now we're tied at 85. Under 4 minutes to go in the overtime. Clarence Rich stolen away by Ellington. And he bleeds it back. from 8 feet. Too strong. Tony Martin with the rebound.
Rich has made 2 bad decisions the last 2 times.
Oh, Shears dribbles it off himself. Tries to save it. It goes out of bounds. Off of Mike Pittman's foot. Mike, don't complain too much because they may call a T. Pittman's going out now. And Jeff Smithy coming in. There you see it? I don't know. I didn't see that one hit Pittman's foot. Ref says you kicked it.
Pittman didn't see it either, as you can see by his emphatic dispute.
Too bad there's not an organ here. Remember, in a lot of NBA arenas, I'll hear him play 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. We might have to ask Mark Banger, the PA announcer, who's got a tape deck down there, to get a recording of that.
And get some nursery rhymes down there.
He sees that in the Three Stooges, too. It's like, Brandy Monk's outside. We'll get back to the ball game. 3 minutes to go in overtime. 85-85. Bellarmine with the ball. Great pass inside to Monks. Somebody got lost on a defensive assignment there. And Bellarmine grabs the lead, 87-85. Big trip for the Dons here. Smithy gets it to Martin on the inside, outside Gibson. Smithy driving in. Over to Shears for 3. Perfect! Wayne Shears, his 6th three-pointer of the evening. 20 points has to be his career high here.
Exactly.
Here, Charlie.
Do we dare change our decision?
Right now, it's 88-87. Dons lead it. A lot of time to go. Shears getting the foul there as Wilson put up the short jumper. That is going to be 2 personal fouls on Shears. Wilson will be at the line shooting a couple. Shears,
I think Wilson's going to split a pair.
Wilson checks, he's at the line again. Shears checks out, Honstrider in. I might want to leave Dwayne Shears in right now, hitting those 3-pointers. Usually when you make the first, you make the second. Wilson makes the first, albeit barely.
Used all of the rim.
Swisheroo on the second. 89-88, Bellarmine grabs the lead by a point. Getting close to 2 minutes to go in our first overtime period. Tony Martin looking for someone to get the ball to. Watch out for that 5-second count, Tony. Gibson way up top says, Clarence Rich, you take the ball, you're a guard. Rich out to Smithy. Over to Clarence in the corner. Up top, Honstrider. Smithy, 15 on the shot clock.
Right now, Randy, I don't know why Dwayne Shears is not in the basketball game because they are not even guarding Honstrider beyond 15 feet.
Tony Martin fakes the 3. Rich for 3. Draws air. 1:30 to go. Bellarmine by 1 with the ball. You know, the Knights are going to work it around for a while here unless someone's got a wide open layup. One thing I'll tell you, Charlie, they haven't been getting those wide open dunks they were talking about. Tony Martin with the steal. Drives down, lays it off to Honstrider. It's good, no foul.
Great no call.
A lot of contact, you're right.
Monks was falling away before Honstrider even made any contact.
Way after he released it, both of them were out of bounds before they made contact. Dons lead it by 1 with a minute to go. And Clarence Rich comes up with the steal. 2 steals, 2 times down the court. Dons take a timeout to regroup. Good idea, Andy Piazza. You've got the lead, 90-89 with 55 seconds to go. Man, oh man, what a game.
Great thievery by first Martin and then Clarence Rich. 2-11, call the police.
Woo. Crowd really getting into it now. Treated to a great ball game tonight. The Dons looking for the big upset on Bellarmine. Watch Clarence Rich here against Brandy Monks. Monks trying to show off the ball because he's about 8 inches taller.
And it could have been a foul.
He grabbed Clarence by the shirt. You could see him grab him right between the 1 and the 2.
Referee standing right in front there.
Yep. Da, 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 da. That's going to be our new theme song. The Dons feeling good right now, owning the lead 90-89 with 55 seconds to go. Bellarmine, look over at the bench there, Charlie. Those guys look like they are in shock. Like this is not supposed to happen to us.
No, Bellarmine, again, one of the top 10 rated teams in the nation in the NCAA Division II, one of the powers of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And these Dons have come in here and gave them everything they wanted and more.
I'll tell you, John Honstrider really did a great job finishing that fast break after Tony Martin got the steal. He went strong to the basket, figuring, I'm going to get the bucket or I'm going to get fouled. Andy Piazza started off the night, dress, suit, tie. The coach come off a while ago. The tie's down. He is what we call coaching. 50 seconds to go now. Dons lead it by 1 and have the ball. This is the same exact situation we had towards the end of regulation, and there was a foul by Bellarmine. Eric Wilson fouled Pittman, and Pittman hit 1 out of 2 to make it a 2-point lead, and then Bellarmine tied it in the last couple of seconds. Let's see what happens this time. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock. Dons looking for the shot now. Shears fakes the 3, goes up from 15, he hits it. Dwayne Shears with a huge bucket. And Bellarmine gets the timeout with 14 seconds to go, down by 3. Last time, Charlie, they had 15 seconds to go in regulation, down by 2. We were wondering whether they would try for the 3-pointer to win it. They didn't. They went for the 2 to go to OT. Now I think they've got to go for the 3-pointer tonight.
And Dwayne Shears is having a marvelous basketball game this evening. Was hurt earlier in the second half, came back off the injury, and has played extremely well.
22 points by our unofficial count. He faked the shot there. Perfect form. Dwayne Shears, tell you, this game is going to give him a lot of confidence for the rest of the season and a lot for next year.
Against a quality team, a quality defender. John Ellington also, as we saw him steal 2 of Mike Pittman's patented between-the-legs passes. So he's not doing this against a slouch defender.
What do we have Dwayne for on the Stat-O-Matic? 22?
22 points, 6 3-pointers.
And he's only missed 3 or 4 of them. He's been draining them. And also, Mike Pittman's had a good first half, quiet in the second. Sean Gibson's got to be up around 20 as well. As Charlie quickly totals it up as he tabs it into the computer. X1, Y2. Total equals
22.
22. Tying for game honors.
A lot of deuces. Deuces wild tonight.
And Gibson's got a bucket of rebounds. My guess would be 15 right now. 14 seconds to go. 92-89. Good guys in white. IPFW leading it by 3 over Bellarmine. Again, you've got to look to number 15, Eric Wilson, probably would be their first choice to take a 3-pointer. Ellington, number 11, would be the second choice. Randy Monk's third. That's it. Put some pressure on the ball. Make him use clock. We're at 10. There's Monks. Cross court to Wilson. Forces a 3. No good. Long rebound. Monks saves it. No, he was out of bounds. We are under 2 seconds to go in the ball game. I'm not going to say it's a win yet, but I hope Sean Gibson throws the ball into the other court. Let him get it. Who cares? That's the ball game. He gets it into Shears. He's fouled, but the game is over. The Dons pull off their biggest win of the year, maybe the biggest upset in the Great Lakes Valley Conference this season. 92-89, the final in overtime. Charlie, best game I've seen out here.
A great job. IPFW playing spoiler. They've done those 3 things we stated at the top of this basketball game. They've played spoiler for Bellarmine in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. They've improved their attitude and their all-around atmosphere as for the rest of this season and going into next year.
And now the Dons 12-10 on the season. Andy Piazza did not want to have a losing season. Also 5-8 in the GLVC. They could finish up 500 in the conference. And a big win. Now we've got a tough decision. Sean Gibson, I thought, was the shoo-in as the dandy-down player of the game. But Shears hit some big shots down at the end.
Exactly. But I'm going to stay with Sean Gibson. Sean did a great job offensively, defensively, the intangibles. He did everything. He was the glue that held this basketball team together.
You extracted the very words from deep in my throat there, Mr. Washington, because I was going to reiterate that exactly. So now I don't don't have to.
And
I'm trying to be like Howard Cosell here.
We're going to go down and speak with our player of the game, our Dandy Don player of the game.
I think, in fact, we have decided to opt for co-players of the game tonight. Our producer, Greg Schmidt, says we're allowed to have co-players of the game. So we're going to send Charlie Washington down there. He is going to grab Sean Gibson, and also, if he can get him, number 23, Dwayne Shears. Again, they both had 22 points. Just a marvelous game out here tonight. The Dons came back strong in the second half. They were leading 48-45 at halftime, but the Bellarmine Knights came out smoking, and I mean smoking big time to start the second half. Grabbed a 7-8 point lead. The Dons clawed back. We were tied at 85 at the end of regulation. In the overtime, the Dons outscore them 7-4. So IPFW wins the game 92-89. The Dons improve their season overall record to 12-10 and are now 5-8 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And Charlie Washington down on the court trying to get Sean Gibson and or Dwayne Shears, our Dandy Don players of the ball game. I got a feeling they're going to be out there any second. And before we go to that interview, we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our Dandy Don player or players of the game in about 2 minutes.
There seems to be a ever-increasing problem in this country and in our country and in fact all over the world of kids and young adults abusing drugs and just taking things for no good apparent reason. Channel your energies into something more positive. It doesn't go anywhere. Please listen, okay?
Imagine yourself in an emergency. Your survival depends on fast, accurate treatment. That's why you should depend on Medical Alert. Millions do. An emergency responder's call to Medical Alert tells them your medical conditions, current prescriptions, drug allergies, family and physicians. Information that could save your life. To learn more, call Medical Alert. 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
When I grow up, I want to be a track star.
No one ever says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
I want to be a ballerina.
Yet thousands of kids let getting high make a mess of their lives.
I want to be a nurse.
Don't let drugs get in the way of your dreams.
Hello, I'm Charles Washington, along with our Dandy Don player of the game, Mr. Sean Gibson. After a 21-point, 12-rebound performance, Sean, tell us about the game tonight. I know you hit the floor a lot of times. How'd you feel tonight?
Felt good coming in. We lost to them at their place, but we really thought we could beat them. You know, we played really well in our last game. We came out and just showed everyone that we're a pretty good team. I feel I'm beat up, I'm telling you.
This is a great win for you, and how is this going to affect you? You had a big win on Thursday, first of all, and this has to be a great win. How is this going to affect you guys ending the season and going into next year?
Can do anything but help, you know. Everyone knows we've had a rough season. It's just thank goodness everyone's starting to come together, pull together. We're losing one guy, you know. Maybe these guys start, everyone on our team start believing we can win, and next year we're going to be really tough.
First of all, Sean, you are a shoo-in for our Dandy Don player of the game tonight, as you have been in previous performances. But we have to talk about a young man on the squad that played a tremendous basketball game. Dwayne Shears hit 6 3-pointers, a huge 3-pointer down the stretch, and just played an overall fantastic game.
I can't say I love him. He hit some big threes. He took a lot of pressure off me. They were doubling down, tripling down. It's nice to know when you got guys to kick it out to, like Mike, Jeff, Dwayne, Andy, everyone that can hit the three. Dwayne was really feeling it tonight. He played probably the best game he's played since he's been here.
Well, Sean, I don't want to hold you up because I know you're hurting. You hit the floor about 12 or 13 times tonight. Great hustle. Congratulations on this big win, and good luck to you the rest of the season, sir.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks a lot.
All right, Thanks, Charlie, along with Sean Gibson, our co-dandy down player of the game, along with Dwayne Shears. Again, the Dons coming out on the good end tonight, getting that W in the left-hand column, 92-89 over the Bellarmine Knights. Really glad you could be with there for the game tonight. Randy Shippen, for Charlie Washington, our producer Greg Schmitz, and our entire great production crew here at College Cable Access Channel 6. We hope you join us the rest of the season for exciting IPFW basketball. Until next time, so long, everyone.